Thank you very much. That's true. I'm not going to dispute.
It is. It really is true.
Yeah. Legitimate finding, I think.
What's going on?
Oh, the little of this and that little of that. And President Trump was last night in Pennsylvania, a place where most people have never been. Talking about the economy, and he's just beginning his sweep across the country. The Democrats, they're coming out in favor of illegal aliens everywhere.
Yeah. WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 9. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. The Fairfax County Board of Supervisors is once again fully staffed.
Democrat Rashida Sizemore-Heiser, she won the election for Braddock District Supervisor with about 67% of the vote. Now she replaces the board seat left open by James Walkinshaw, who was elected to Congress in September. Now Sizemore-Heiser had served on the Fairfax County School Board. She will now serve the remainder of Walkinshaw's term through 2027. That's when all 10 seats on the Board of Supervisors will be up for election again. A formal swearing-in date has not been announced.
7 News' John Rogers. Sizemore-Heiser's election came the same day that a former Montgomery County School Board member, Shebra Evans, was appointed to the Montgomery County Council. We have a new update this morning on the health of National Guard Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, who was shot 2 weeks ago near the White House. That update coming from President Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania last night.
They mentioned that Wolf got up from his hospital bed yesterday.
He got up from bed. Do you believe that? He got up. He got up.
President Trump went on to say that Wolf isn't speaking yet. Another Guard member, Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, was shot and killed in that attack. The president says the suspect, an Afghan national who was also shot, will face the death penalty.
7 News' Adam Longo. A judge will decide this afternoon whether to put Catherine Hoggle on trial.
The Montgomery County mother is accused of killing her 2 young children more than a decade ago. In previous years, she's been found not competent due to her mental health. Yesterday, the judge finished hearing arguments from prosecutors and Hoggle's lawyers. 3-year-old Sarah and 2-year-old Jacob have never been found. Here's what the children's father had to say.
I'm more hopeful today than I have been throughout this process. The former director of Clifton T. Perkins Hospital Center says the woman accused of murdering my babies is competent to stand trial.
That decision will be announced at 1:30 this afternoon. Talk about cell phone bans was all the talk at the start of the school year, but Loudoun County School Board is still talking about adopting a bell-to-bell ban.
The students are going to be responsible for regulating their own behavior, and I just foresee it's going to be a huge discipline problem.
Enforcement and consistency of, notes board member April Chandler. She's also concerned about those receiving accommodations who do need devices and how privacy for those students will be handled. Those just part of the gray areas highlighted during a recent meeting. Superintendent Aaron Spence and member Lauren Chernoff, who will support the restrictions, but wants clarification.
Let's see what happens, and then we may have to adjust.
It's hard to vote on a policy when you're saying, let's see what happens. I have a little bit of angst about that.
The vote on the revised policy is next Tuesday. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
A new report finds growing demand and climate change could lead to water shortages for our region in the coming years.
I have no need or desire to go on this woman's panel.
We are doing what we can to mitigate the impacts of
Fuck you, Jacey, you bitch.
In the DC region.
Michael Nardalil.
All you can do is sit there and fucking cry like the fucking crybaby you are. Now Jacey's begging me to go on her panel. Fuck you, bitch. You have one choice, Jacey. You come up here. You come up here and talk to me one-on-one without all your fucktards, Jacey. You're not a strong woman, bitch. Fuck you.
Are up 4 points at this hour. The NASDAQ futures are down 20. Up next, traffic and weather.
All the scumbags are in your chat, Jacey.
With disabilities who desperately needs a break, then you need to know about Jill's House. To find out more, visit our website, jillshouse.org.
Hey, this is Michael Rosenbaum. Hey guys, Tom Welling.
Now this is funny because I wasn't in chat, and when I logged in and went in to see what's going on, start my morning, all them fuckers in there crying about Billy Hayden. I don't even have to be there, and you fuckers are triggered. What are you going to do, Jacey? Are you sitting there typing away, Jacey? I can hear you on your keypad. Is that all you can do, Jacey? Jacey, how come you never have any visitors at your house? Yeah. All the time you fucking stream, never once do you ever turn your stream off because you have visitors. You're a lonely old ogre up there in Canada, Jacey. You lied about your husband. You've lied about your life. Oh, I'm rich. Duh. You take advantage of the less fortunate. That's right. Mary Bernie isn't very fortunate. It is Lucius Mark. He's not very fortunate. Plus a few others. All you can do is complain about Billy. That's why I'm here. If you're coming at me, that means you're not going after other people. But, you know, it doesn't always work that way. Rusty has you fucking triggered too. Wolfie, thanks for being a good sport. I didn't trash you, Wolfster. We're all players out here. Jacey, you're a fucking bitch. I ain't never coming on your panel again, Jacey. Fuck you, bitch. All you're gonna get from me, Jacey, is a hard time because you're a fucking idiot.
We're likely in the upper 40s this afternoon, and a passing shower or two is possible as well with the cold front coming in. A lot of this will stay dry today. Tonight it dries out. Temperatures.
Jacey, I'm not even looking at your chat now. I turned it off. I'm back in Vegas looking at Vegas. Because you really don't matter, Jacey. Jacey, you really don't matter out here, bitch. I gave you a view, though. That's what you're looking for. I'm not even reading your chat now, Jacey. You are so fucking mad. The news is on.
You guys see this in a new interview? Trump gave himself an A+++++ on the economy. Once again, this is what happens when you get rid of the Department of Education. This is plus. Stop.
Ah, yes. The hilarity never stops in New York City, does it? It gets funny everywhere you go, really. I've got, Congressman Hank Johnson. Hank Johnson, he's the guy who was afraid the island of Guam was going to flip over if we put too many Marines on one side of the island, because he's no geologist. No geologist is he. He's got a Supreme Court justice who's not a biologist, and got a member of the House from Georgia who's definitely not a geologist. Well, he was hanging out with friendly lefties, and he declared the United States to be the Great Satan. The Great Satan. He's joined the Shiite.
Life is a highway. I want to drive it all night long.
That's a term that
fuck you, Wiggin, you piece of shit.
Grade school bully.
Punk motherfucker.
Democrats have adopted that in grown-up world in the last few years. Georgia Democrat refers to the United States as world's #1 bully and the Great Satan. That's, of course, what the Ayatollahs call the United States of America. They have since they committed a series of war crimes, taking over the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. 1979, there's still an empty building on Embassy Row in Washington, D.C. that used to be the Iranian embassy, and it's been empty ever since. A lot of cobwebs in there, a lot of spiders, I think. So, we got Hank Johnson. He's on camera. He's on camera. The United States has indeed become the Great Satan. Just like, who was it that he has no idea who called us the Great Satan? Not a bright man. So we've got that going. It's a lot of fun. And I'll play that for you because, the Democrats, those crazy, wacky, rascally Democrats, aren't they nuts? President Trump was in Pennsylvania last night, and it wasn't yesterday, it was last night. He flew out of Washington, out of Andrews in the dark, aboard Air Force One, and went to Pennsylvania, held a big rally. Everybody loved it. The cheers were great. Even the news media couldn't say, they lied that at the Kennedy Center. I was at the Kennedy Center honors on Sunday night, and President Trump was there, and he was applauded every time he spoke, and everybody got all his jokes and laughed at all his jokes. Then I saw multiple media reports saying that, oh, the crowd has turned on Trump at the Kennedy Center because they lie about everything. If they're talking, they're lying. If they're typing, they're lying. If they're sitting there silently, then they're thinking dishonest things. So we've got that. But the president last night in Pennsylvania talking about the state of the economy and all that good stuff. And in the meantime, you know what the Democrats, and we've got audio from the president in Pennsylvania for you. And one of the things we played the audio for you yesterday where the president said, you know, at NATO, they call me daddy. They call me daddy, Big Daddy NATO. And that was darn funny. It came up again. And it turns out that the head of NATO did call President Trump daddy. But because somebody's got to be the grown-up in the room when it comes to our European allies not paying their fair share and expecting us to do all the heavy lifting and the light lifting and cleaning up after. They're quite something. But the president last night was in rare form as he, I don't know how you're always in rare form, but he's always in rare form. Seems contradictory, but not in the case of Donald Trump. It was great stuff. And some of the headlines, NATO chief calls Trump daddy, the Politico wrote months ago now. Trump talks defense spending. NATO calls me daddy is the headline. And that has the Democrats very upset because, you know, they know who their daddy is. And it's something else altogether. Donald Trump grades economy A++++. That's several. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus. I think I fell short. It's plus. That's A+. The economy. The president has to make his own case. You may remember that the economy was a catastrophe under Joe Biden. Grocery store shelves were bare. Gasoline was $500 a gallon, and it was 9.1% inflation. And the news media never said, boy, the economy is really rough out here, isn't it? You got to find people. They weren't pushing this whole, the economy, they got to push the economy's bad because they've reverted to the old James Carville line. It's the economy stupid. It's always the economy stupid. But we've got some updates on that. And there, is a bit of up and down. There always is because it's an economy after all. But a funny Rosie O'Donnell story too, because the people of the Washington Post, they love Rosie O'Donnell. She left the United States and went to Ireland. They're not very happy that she went to Ireland. Not in Ireland are they happy about that, but it's great. Donald Trump's first administration took an emotional toll on Rosie O'Donnell. She didn't think she could endure a second term. This time, O'Donnell had a plan. She moved to Ireland. Her brother Eddie says it was the best decision she's made, I think, in her life, honestly. Well, I don't think she's made a lot of good decisions. I mean, that's not setting the bar very high. Hey, Rosie O'Donnell made a good decision. She's like 70, and she finally got around to making a good decision. And I got to say, her leaving the country, I think that is a good decision for the country and for all of us. Isn't that great? And Rosie O'Donnell moved to Ireland to escape Trump. Did it work? The Washington Post, they're all over it. Isn't it her daughter, who's like her transgender daughter or something, who's moving back to the United States from Ireland? Didn't I see that recently? And aren't they all transgender? Isn't that one of the things about that? And in the meantime, in between time, ain't those drug smugglers got fun? Chuck Schumer, the Lizard King. They got the headline here at CNN, Schumer, : now that is appropriate, isn't it? Hegseth won't commit to full boat strike video release. They want, now let's get all the video releases of Obama killing American citizens overseas in drone strikes and Obama killing civilians by the scores and scores, probably by the hundreds in his drone strikes. I want all those videos released. The public must see those videos. We have a right to it. We paid for those videos. I demand those videos be released. This is what Republicans on the Hill need to do when the Lizard King comes out with his Communist Party lizard stuff. We're demanding the release of the second strike. So you're okay with the first strike on the boat, is that right? The first strike, you're good with that one. That's solid. But when the drug smugglers survived the first the strike and they slithered back to the boat, which is still loaded with drugs that could still be transported to the United States to kill your daughter in a fatal drug overdose. Now the Democrats, they're rankled. Now they're riled up. So Schumer is very angry. They got the classified briefing. Maybe they saw the videos, but maybe not because, then they just go to CNN and start lying about them, which is what they can reliably be trusted to do in every instance. Back when I was working at the Pentagon, which I did for a decade, covering the Pentagon, the rule was in the Pentagon, anything that was briefed to Congress was considered to be public information because they would leak it before the Pentagon briefers drove back to the Pentagon. Before that, the cars reached the Pentagon after the congressional briefing, it would have been leaked to the New York Times, to the Washington Post, to CNN, and it would be half true. It would just be and because it's always the Democrats, and it would all be negative anti-American stuff. So yeah, Schumer says Hegseth won't commit to the full boat strike video release. Key Dem reacts. Just release the video, just so we can move on. They're not planning on moving on. They're planning on a civil war for the next 3.5 years, and against our military because they're pro drug cartels. The Democrat Party, they're pro drug cartels. And I went and did a bit of background research. Fake fact checkers. Did Obama carry out drone strikes without congressional approval? And I want to share that with you because some interesting stuff in there. Also in the striking the drug traffickers in the Gulf of America and the Caribbean. 87 people have been killed, apparently, which is in the same period of time, I think, fewer than have been murdered in Chicago. But the Democrats don't care about the Americans being gunned down in Chicago. Let's throw in the drug overdoses, too. How many, in the time that 87 drug traffickers have been killed in U.S. military strikes in the Caribbean, how many Americans have died of fatal drug overdoses in the same period of time? And the Democrats, the answer to that is, who cares? The Chuck Schumer response to that is that he doesn't care. That's not what he cares about. He's not on our side. Isn't that amazing? Also, speaking of Democrats, a pair of twins that you might think are illegal aliens by looking at them and listening to their names. But the news reports say they're not illegal aliens, but their pictures smell like illegal aliens. Twins, they're twin brothers. Twins arrested in a plot to hang the tyrant Trump administration official and shoot ICE officers. And they had an AR-15 style rifle, a 12-gauge shotgun playing on. This is the Democrat Party inspired these brothers who might as well be illegal aliens. And they were plotting to kill the beautiful, lovely, and talented Tricia McLaughlin, who is the Assistant Secretary, Department of Homeland Security for Public Affairs. She's the spokeswoman. And she is, of course, strikingly beautiful, and she's wonderful spokeswoman and very bright, very articulate, and she comes out and tells the truth. And so a couple of Democrats plotted to kidnap her, torture her, and murder her. And they've been arrested, and they were planning on shooting ICE agents too. And they're inspired by the Democratic Party because the Democrat Party is a violent political hellhole of a party. And they're here in the United States of America. They are the Democrat Party. Yeah, so these twins arrested in plot to hang the tyrant Trump official, who you probably know from the television, Tricia McLaughlin. And she's wonderful. And the Democrats, they're murderous, bloodthirsty savages. And then Hank Johnson says that we're the great Satan. See, because the Democrat Party is at war against us. Don't worry about Iran. Don't worry about Putin when it comes to the United States. Worry about the Democratic Party. They're on the side of Satan. They're on the side of the Iranian Ayatollahs, not the people of Iran. You may remember during Obama, there was a revolution going on there, and Obama didn't lift a finger to help the revolutionaries who wanted to overthrow the tyrants of the Ayatollahs regime. And what did Obama do? He attacked anybody that pointed it out. He's not on the side of civilization. He's the left, just opposing stuff. Yeah, so we got a lot going on. Also, there's more too, because the Democrats in Illinois and the Democrats in Montgomery County, Maryland, are both fighting to defend illegal aliens, building laws. And I want to share this with you. The Democrat governor in Illinois, the Democrats running Montgomery County, Maryland, just about 2 blocks from where I sit right now, they're all fighting to defend illegal aliens. They say immigrants. Well, there's no problem with immigrants. It's illegal immigrants. It's like no problem with drivers. It's drunk drivers, you maroons. Honestly, You people, what's the matter with you people? I am telling you. Yes, sir. And, oh, wait a minute. Hey, look, I'm getting help here from law enforcement. And that is, let's see, Chicago murders since September. Looks like there have been 85 people murdered. 85 people murdered, died of murder in Chicago since we started striking the drug boats in the Gulf of America and the Caribbean. And 87 people killed in strikes on international drug cartels. The Democrats are spitting mad, fighting mad. They want to fight back against anybody that would blow up members of the drug cartels out of Latin America, Tony Montana and the gang. The Democrats, they're not our fans. They're not on our side. Boy, are they not on our side. And the number of murders in Chicago, 85. Democrats are angry because 87 drug traffickers have been killed in U.S. airstrikes in the same period of time. And this number of the murders in Chicago, of course, does not include the number of fatal drug overdoses in Chicago over the same period of time. The Democrats, they're not on the side of America. Isn't that amazing? And here's another, speaking of Iran, this is hilarious. We are hosting the World Cup. It's a soccer match. Kick the ball, kick, right? And Seattle, they're playing soccer matches all over the country. Seattle in Washington, they're planning on hosting a big soccer tournament, and in Seattle. And they're doing it during Pride Month. That's gay pride. It's not, can't be proud of America or anything, but gay Pride Month. And the people running the operation, they decided which national teams will play in Seattle for their Pride. It's their whole thing is based on Pride, Seattle Pride Month World Cup match, and it's the Pride match. You'll never guess who they picked to play in the Pride match. That's coming up.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Beltway in Annandale is a car fire. Extinguished now. The cleanup is ongoing and 2 right lanes remain blocked. Dinner look at the Little River Turnpike delays leaving Springfield north on 95, and it is just at a crawl. 395 northbound jam from the Pentagon heading onto the freeway. Crash reported on the westbound freeway near the 3rd Street Tunnel. 295 north still slows near Joint Base Anacostia. Pulling to get you onto the inbound 11th Street Bridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Mostly cloudy with a shower possible today and a high of 46. Rain ends tonight, clearing overnight, low 32.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. More than 1 million people are part of healthcare sharing now because it just makes so much sense right now. And MediShare is the gold standard. Members like it a lot. We know this from member surveys. MediShare has been around for over 30 years. It is a proven thing. And if you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline's December 15th. Call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. It's 855-BIBLE-11. That's 855-BIBLE-11. 855-BIBLE-11.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
Look out, the flu monster could be anywhere. He could be right next to you on the bus, at the store, at the game, or in the conference room. Protect yourself with a flu shot. Appointments are open for ages 2 and older, or just walk in. KinneyDrugs.com.
Yes. It's me again. The deep breath. Oh my.
for empowerment. And I got a message for you. You gotta think about self-truth. No matter what and where, with who. Yeah, yeah. To all you lovers out there, ain't no judgment. This is your cue. Yeah, it's time to talk about pre-special prophylaxis, a part of HIV prevention. So you talk to a healthcare provider and visit carefortheculture.com to learn more.
Living with uncontrolled moderate to severe ulcerative colitis can be like going on a blind date with a werewolf.
Are you okay?
No, it's
Is it the veal?
Are you wondering when your UC symptoms will pop up next? Prescription Velsipity, or etrasimod, is one pill once a day for adults with moderate to severe UC that can help calm the chaos of UC symptoms of rectal bleeding and frequent bathroom visits. Velsipity quickly treats flares, with some seeing remission by week 12. It provides a chance for lasting steroid-free remission at 1 year. Don't take Velsipity if you've had a heart attack, chest pain, stroke, or mini-stroke, heart failure in the last 6 months, irregular or abnormal heartbeat. It may cause serious side effects like fatal infections, slow heart rate, liver problems, increased blood pressure, a vision problem called macular edema, certain types of skin cancer, swelling and narrowing of brain's blood vessels, or shortness of breath. Tell your doctor if you're pregnant or plan to be. Use birth control during and for 7 days after treatment. Sorry about that. Oh, look, they have fun. Ask your doctor about once daily oral Velsipity.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Washington's best way to wake up. O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9 on WMAL.
There are a couple of things that made me laugh in conjunction with one another. And the New York Times has a story today. Seattle plans pride match at Soccer World Cup. And that's that. I want to pause the rest of the headline for just a moment because they see the FIFA or whoever the World Cup people, they decide who's going to play which teams, national teams, World Cup. There are national teams from all over the world that get together and play and it can be interesting in the last 3 minutes of the last match if it's a tie, and that's about it. Otherwise, it's not very interesting. But the people, the FIFA, the World Cup people, they have announced who will be playing where in what city, at what phase, what stage, right? So the New York Times headline, Seattle plans pride match, meaning gay pride. They use the word pride and they assume that the word gay precedes it. They don't have to say anything else. Seattle plans pride match at Soccer World Cup, infuriating Iran and Egypt. I'm sorry, what? Why would that infuriate Iran and Egypt? The two countries which criminalize homosexuality and impose severe punishments for it were picked to play on a day celebrating LGBTQ communities. Now, they weren't trying to be funny, I don't think, although maybe they were. They're completely without a sense of humor, and it just may be a slightly different sense of humor. But this is darn funny. The people at King 5 in Seattle. Seattle's World Cup Pride match draws international backlash from Egypt, Iran. Now, I was thinking earlier today, and I didn't even communicate it to Michael, we should pull audio of Iran hanging people that they say are gay in public squares. They like to hang them from construction cranes and things like that, tie their hands behind their back and hang them and hoist them up. And the crowd chants, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Thousands and thousands chant, Allahu Akbar. While the guys are squirming around and kicking their feet and trying to get their hands untied while they're hanging them to death for the crowd to enjoy. And that's Iran when it comes to the homosexuality thing. Egypt, they don't have any Stonewall taverns there either. Not a lot of open that stuff going on. So the controversy stems from last week's FIFA, the international football. They call it football. We know that it's just soccer, which selected two countries where homosexuality faces legal consequences to play in their pride match. Iran and, but wait, that reminds me of Democrat Congressman Hank Johnson, who thinks that islands can flip over because has he joined the jihad? Is he in cahoots with the Ayatollahs now? That's coming up.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Late delays around the Beltway, New Carrollton. Long-standing crash outer loop before the BW Parkway in the right lane. Vehicle fire cleanup on the Virginia Beltway in Annandale. Inner loop at the Little River Turnpike was the two right lanes blocked. Northbound 95 is jammed-packed near the Franconia Springfield Parkway, and that's to merge onto those inner loop delays. Freeway heavy each direction. Crash westbound after the 3rd Street Tunnel. 395 slowing back near the Pentagon. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Mostly cloudy with a shower possible today and a high of 46. Rain ends tonight, clearing overnight, low 32.
Looking for the perfect gift for the soccer fan in your life? Visit store.ussoccer.com and shop official U.S. Soccer merch. Celebrate the season and show your U.S. Soccer fandom with a gift from store.ussoccer.com.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
Yuck, it's flu season, and the flu monster could be anywhere. He could be right next to you on the bus, or watching the play, in line at the store, cheering at the game, singing along at the concert, or blabbing away in the conference room. You just never know where the flu monster is hiding. Protect yourself with a flu shot. Appointments are now open for anyone age 2 or older, or just walk into your local Kinney Drugs. Learn more at KinneyDrugs.com.
Most people would rather remove a nest of irate hornets than search for auto and home insurance. That's why the Zebra searches for you, comparing over 100 insurance companies to find savings no one else can. Compare today at thezebra.com. I think I'll wait inside.
Your path to adult education begins with AEPP. Whether it's preparing for your GED, building your reading and writing skills, or discovering apprenticeship opportunities, learn more today at nysed.gov/adulted. A message from the New York State Education Department.
Peace and planet, Charlamagne the God here. Getting real about your mental health journey means connecting with real people. Call, text, or chat 988 if you're having tough thoughts, substance use issues, stress at home or at work. They can even talk to you through worries you're having about somebody you love. 988 counselors are ready to hear from you 24/7. No cost, no judgment, no stigma. It's also private. Asking for help is the strongest thing that you can do. Just connect with 988, a message from the New York State Office of Mental Health.
Create a space you can't wait to be in. It all starts at Frank Webb Home. With personal service and expert guidance at our local showrooms, we can help you find the bath, kitchen, and lighting solutions you need to enhance your space. With more selection and more expertise. Personal service to help you find your personal style. Visit frankweb.com to schedule a free consultation in one of our 48 showrooms across the Northeast. Make yourself at home at Frank Webb Home.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
AmeriQ Credit Union is more than just a place to bank. It's a place where you belong, where meaningful connections are made with the right financial solutions to help you live your best life, with the people who can help you get there. and the perfect blend of technology to stay connected wherever you are. For 75 years, we've been proud to serve our local communities on the founding principle of people helping people. Join today at americu.org/belong. Americu and you. Let's connect. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA.
Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99. Limit supply. See store for details. Choose Syntec exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
WMAL, making sense of mainstream media because the double standard is real. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Imagine, Mr. Speaker, a world without balloons. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, a world without balloons. Democrat member of the House of Representatives of the U.S. Congress, Hank Johnson, not the sharpest bulb in the constellation. That's a double mixed metaphor. I recognize that. He's quite something. He's also the guy that told us, you may remember, that he was concerned with a 4-star Navy admiral testifying before the House committee, talking about moving Marines to Guam, the island of Guam, and he was terrified that if we moved too many Marines to the island of Guam, that the island might flip over like a frisbee in a swimming pool.
My fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
The admiral looked around like he thought somebody was playing a joke on him, and he had to collect himself for a moment. And he said something like, "That's not a concern, Congressman, because we know that the island is attached to the ocean floor, and it's not a frisbee in a swimming pool, because we're not very severely mentally impaired." Right? What was the abbreviation we came up with yesterday? The acronym. We have to go back to that. Severely mentally impaired Democrats. SMIDS. Is that what it was? Severely mentally impaired Democrats. SMIDS. No more SMIDS. Hank Johnson is definitely a SMID. But let's get to Hank Johnson, because Hank Johnson, always a severely mentally impaired Democrat, a SMID. He sat down with a radical extremist, communist, anti-American jihadi, who's perfectly mainstream Democrat, Dean Obadiah. He used to be a radical fringe figure in American political and media life. Now he's entirely mainstream. And he had Democrat Congressman Hank Johnson on. And you know what they wanted to talk about? The terrible United States of America blowing up international drug cartel members on boats loaded with drugs headed for the United States of America. And again, it's wackadoodle-doo, these Democrats. I did a couple of quick looks. I was looking at Chicago, and just since President Trump and the Trump administration started blowing up the drug boats headed for the United States to kill tens of thousands of people every year, the Democrats are now in favor of the international drug cartels. I guess they were before, but now they're fully out of the closet on the being pro-Tren de Aragua, the Venezuelan gang, pro-drug traffickers, pro-drug boats making it to the United States. And they're like, oh, you can't just blow up international drug cartel members. They have rights too. Well, no, actually they don't. But I took a look, and it looks like probably 85 people in Chicago have been murdered since President Trump started blowing up the drug trafficking boats. And the news media is angry that maybe 87 drug traffickers have been blown up. And that's terrible. Also in Chicago, so far this year, I think the number is 392 people murdered in Chicago. Democrats don't have anything to say about that. But if drug traffickers are blown up by U.S. military, then the Democrats are very, very angry. I also did a quick look at the Illinois Department of Health, or whatever this is, .gov. Opioids in Illinois, 3,261 fatal drug overdoses in 2022. They haven't updated since then because they're Democrats. And the fatal drug overdoses, 83% involved opioids. And so they keep some statistics. And you've got 3,341. What is this? That's the percentage increase. Just amazing. So they got people dying from fatal drug overdoses all over the place. People dying from murders all over the place. I'm just doing Chicago, not the entire country, United States. But they're very angry. I've got the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Canada continues to monitor U.S. boat strikes in Caribbean as questions swirl and allies squirm. Not very good allies, but U.S. has placed Canada in an impossible position, military expert argues. They went and talked to a left-wing military expert, and they always say that. And this Canadian piece says that, according to the U.S. government, at least 87 people have been killed in nearly 24 strikes. I think it's 22 strikes. U.S. strikes in the Caribbean since September. That's a great Earth, Wind, and Fire song. We should play that in here. Isn't that great? So we got 87. But the Democrats, when it comes to Chicago, they really couldn't possibly care less. They don't care about human life. They're the left, because 85 killed in Chicago, no big deal. 3,000 something fatal drug overdoses in Chicago in a year. They don't care. Another 390 something murdered in Chicago so far this year. And the Democrats don't care. They genuinely don't care. But what they want to do is go after the U.S. military and make them into the bad guys. Now, with that said, let's go back to Dean Obadiah talking to Democrat Congressman Hank Johnson, who thinks that islands in the Pacific flip over if you put too many people on one side of the island. Not a bright man. Who wants us to lamentingly imagine a world without balloons, because he has the brain of a 4-year-old, maybe a 3-year-old. And he was invited to appear on this video, whatever, online podcast, Dean Obadiah, radical extremist, mainstream Democrat. And he's got, the United States is real bad for blowing up those drug traffickers. Isn't the United States terrible?
We don't have any penalty in America for someone, even if they were selling drugs, that you would execute them. There's no death penalty that I'm aware of. And even if there was, you're going to have some due process. It's not a situation where you say, I'm not going to show you proof, but just trust me, this person's a drug dealer, and we're going to just kill them. And if they're survivors, we're going to kill the survivors of the initial strikes as well. This is not what the United States of America is supposed to be about. I don't know how this is playing out on the world stage, because I haven't spoken to people in other countries yet, but this is awful for our nation.
Yeah.
This is defining us as some kind of, like a Putin-esque type of nation.
We're Putin-esque. Yeah. We're a Putin-esque kind of nation. He was very satisfied with himself. He thought that was very well articulated. It's low IQ theater everywhere you look. And Hank Johnson was sitting there nodding in agreement. Yeah, we're Putin-esque. We can't just shoot drug dealers on the street. We depend on drug dealers to shoot each other on the street. That's why there are 650 murders in Chicago every year. And they're all Democrats pulling the trigger and almost all taking the bullets. Never mind that. Democrat Congressman Hank Johnson wants to imagine a world without balloons.
Yeah, we are the world's #1 bully. And we're using our immense, unrivaled power to rule over those who have less power. And we're doing it with impunity. And this sends a shocking message to the world that America is indeed what did they used to call the great hand of Satan or something like that?
The great hand of Satan, or what they used to. Who are they? He's talking about the Ayatollahs in Iran. Here's Hank Johnson. He just joined ISIS.
America, under the Trump regime, is demonstrating that moniker was entirely accurate. The great Satan. That's what we have become in this country.
That's right. We have become in this country the great Satan, just as the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said, just as old stinky Ahmadinejad said, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the great Satan. And the Democrat Party has joined the ranks of ISIS and Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Revolution in Tehran, because they are the enemies of the United States of America. Hank Johnson is too stupid. He used a word there I thought was kind of big for him. I was impressed. He used a polysyllabic word. And then, of course, it does beg the question that, gosh, where were you when President Barack Obama was bombing people all over the world in drone strikes and killing hundreds of innocent bystanders who were civilians, according to your precious international organizations? And a left-wing group called Factually has a page. Did Obama carry out drone strikes without congressional approval? If so, what were the targets and these attacks? And well, they were Muslims, of course. Were there any civilians injured? The answer, well, injured and killed by the scores. And for Democrats trying to follow along, scores means a score is a group of 20 people. See, in this context, a group of scores and a group of 20. And here it is. Obama apologized for the drone killings of two Western victims, and he targeted Anwar al-Awlaki, an American Muslim in Yemen, and blew him up in a drone strike, knowing that he was an American citizen with no due process. And that's an actual American citizen. And then he came back and killed Anwar al-Awlaki's 16-year-old son in a follow-on strike. That was the double tap on the Awlaki family. Isn't that amazing? But it turns out that Barack Obama authorized 563 strikes, according to Factually, largely by drones targeting Pakistan, Somalia. Oh no, guess whose family probably got hit there? And Yemen during his 2 terms, representing 10 times more airstrikes than his predecessor, George W. Bush. But when Democrats do it, it's fine, you see, because they only kill the right people, American citizens and Muslims and all that good stuff. Aren't they amazing? So Barack Obama, with his, according to the estimates, this accounting, he killed maybe 807 civilians across his strikes, as more than 500 drone strikes, 563 drone strikes, and total silence from the New York Times, from MS-13, DNC, from CNN, from the Washington Post, from Chuck Schumer, from Hank Johnson, from Dean Obadiah. That's all fine because they'll kill the world before they're done. They're the left, and nobody kills like the left. Isn't that amazing? Yes, it is. So 87, that's the number that has been suggested by the Trump administration. Drug traffickers may have been killed in these strikes, perhaps a couple of dozen strikes on the drug boats, maybe a little fewer, slightly fewer than a couple of dozen. And now the Democrats are really angry. And Chuck Schumer was on Capitol Hill yesterday. He was briefed by the Pentagon, and he immediately, again, the Pentagon briefers were still driving back to the Pentagon when Schumer went and found the CNN camera and started lying to them and giving half-baked bits of the classified briefing that he got because he's an extremely corrupt man. Now, let's go to, we got a Luigi Mangione update for you, too, because he's a Democrat. It's all Democrat news. Chuck Schumer yesterday on Capitol Hill. The bad guys are the United States of America. We are the great Satan. We are the world's biggest bully. We are shooting people in the head without due process, Dean Obadiah. The Democrat Party is at war against our culture and against our civilization and against our military. Here's Chuck Schumer. Here's, hey, I'm going to get a classified briefing, and then I'm going to come leak it to you.
Secretaries Hegseth and Rubio and top officials will brief the Gang of Eight, and I'll be there. I plan to confront Secretary Hegseth on exactly what the hell is going on in the Caribbean.
Yeah, what the hell?
I plan to demand Secretary Hegseth give the total, unedited videos of what happened in the September 2nd boat strikes.
Unedited.
Trump originally agreed to do this, but now they're afraid. What's Hegseth hiding?
They know that you are so virulently jihadi, communist, anti-American, and anti-American military that you will immediately leak it to communist China and to the enemies of America, because you are one of the enemies of America. I think that's the short. So he said they're going to come, and then in fact the Pentagon briefers did come to the Capitol and brief these miscreants. And Schumer got the briefing and then immediately sprinted, to the extent that he can, back to the TV cameras to start illegally leaking what he was just told and to misrepresent what he was told in a way that is most detrimental to the U.S. military.
And second, I will demand of Rubio and Hegseth what the hell is going on in the Caribbean and in Venezuela. What are their plans? How far do they plan to go?
Yeah, they should tell you what the future will hold and how that's going to happen. And then he came back to cameras after the briefing.
It was a very unsatisfying briefing. Would he let every member of Congress see
for sex
the unedited videos of the September 2nd strike? His answer, we have to study it. In terms of Venezuela, I asked them what their strategy is and did not get satisfying answers at all.
Didn't get satisfying answers at all. So he got answers. Just not the answers that he wanted. See, they're not he got answers. He said they're just not satisfying at all because, Democrat things, usually they got a little mogambo during these briefings. That's Schumer. He is angry. He's unsatisfied. He got the briefing, but he was unsatisfied with it. And the Democrats, you know what they want? Justice for drug traffickers. These are the people that burned our country down over George Floyd. But a young woman with the National Guard is gunned down in Washington, D.C., and not a peep out of the Democrats. Two Americans, one an employee at the Israeli embassy, gunned down at a Jewish museum on the sidewalks of Washington, D.C., not a peep out of the Democrats. A healthcare insurance company CEO gunned down on the sidewalks of New York City all by Democrats for political reasons. Not a peep out of the Democrats. Well, there is a peep. They've made a hero out of the assassin, out of the killer, Luigi Mangione, who's back in court again. And Democrat girls will be outside swooning for him like he's the Beatles. We're at 888-630-9625.
The great Satan. That's what we have become in this country.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Boy, we have late delays, Virginia, leaving 95 northbound from the Franconia Springfield Parkway to get onto the inner loop of the Beltway. Car fire cleanup continues at the Little River Turnpike. It's the far right lane that remains blocked. 395 north still slow backing near the Pentagon across the 14th Street Bridge. This also takes you on to lower 14th Street. Finally, better news, New Carrollton, long-standing crash out of loop near 450 over to the shoulder. Still watch for those residual delays. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Mostly cloudy with a shower possible today and a high of 46. Rain ends tonight, clearing overnight, low 32.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
What frightens you? Running out of Halloween candy? Step into Kinney Drugs for monster savings on candy, novelties, greeting cards, and scary decor. If you dare. KinneyDrugs.com.
Looking for a new set of wheels? Or maybe you're excited to hit the trails with a new sled. Let AmeriQ Credit Union connect you with the financing and enjoy the holiday season. Payment free for 90 days. Apply today at ameriq.org/nopay. Application subject to credit approval. To be eligible for no payments for 90 days, automatic payments from an AmeriQ account are required. Interest begins accruing on the date loan is opened and will be amortized over the monthly payments.
Yes, it's me again. We prepped. Woo. Prep, oh, wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. It's the time for empowerment, and I've
It's fucking. I need a new phone. Motherfucker hesitating like a motherfucker. What in the fuck? It's fucking sickening. Jesus.
Talk to a healthcare provider and visit carefortheculture.com to learn more.
It's truck and SUV season at Winter Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy Truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Winter Auto Sales, the used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at winterauto.sales.com.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
Peace to the planet, Charlamagne the God here. Getting real about your mental health journey means connecting with real people. Call, text, or chat 988 if you're having tough thoughts, substance use issues, stress at home or at work. They can even talk to you through worries you're having about somebody you love. 988 counselors are ready to hear from you 24/7. No cost, no judgment, no stigma. It's also private. Asking for help is the strongest thing that you can do. Just connect with 988, a message from the New York State Office of Mental Health.
Yuck, it's flu season. And the flu monster could be anywhere. He could be right next to you on the bus, or watching the play, in line at the store, cheering at the game, singing along at the concert, or blabbing away in the conference room. You just never know where the flu monster is hiding. Protect yourself with a flu shot. Appointments are now open for anyone age 2 or older, or just walk into your local Kinney Drugs. Learn more at KinneyDrugs.com.
WMAL, making sense of the border, because laws either matter or they don't. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Yes. All right, let us go to the top. I've got a bit more Hank Johnson. He wants American military and civilian leaders to be prosecuted in courts for murder and war crimes for taking on the drug cartels, because they are pro-drug cartel and they are pro-fatal drug overdoses of your daughter and your grandmother. They're not on your side. Let's go to the phones, Michael. Let's go to Hoke, calling from Round Hill, Virginia. Hoke, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris. So after I make my comment, I have a question that's going to scare you, but I can't look it up right now because I'm driving, but there was someone from the UK yesterday, a government official, who said that he wishes they had the authority to blow up the drug runners before they reach the shore.
Oh, well, you know,
I can't remember who it was.
They used to defend themselves in Great Britain. They kind of gave that up. But I tell you what, I'm going to go look for that because you brought it up, Hoke.
Yep. Now my question for you, it's going to scare you a little bit. I'm sorry in advance.
I'm scared already.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Hank Johnson and Jasmine Crockett procreated?
Wait a minute. Then the Democrats would have their next presidential candidate, and let Hank Johnson and the Democrats. They've created kind of an anti-super race. They've created the dumbest species. I think they are a subspecies, aren't they, Hook?
I think so, but they're both so stupid that their child would have to be brilliant because they couldn't combine that DNA and make anything any more stupid.
Might want to check their DNA before they're allowed to procreate to see if it would be inbreeding. They might be more closely related than we might imagine going in. Pretty amazing stuff. I got to tell you, Hoke, between and they've got them all over the place, running for the Senate and in Texas, and we've got the AOCs and the Ilhan Omars and the Hank Johnsons, the Democrats. They they should probably start setting the bar a little higher, I think, for the U.S. Congress and now for the Senate, because they've got, they just keep lowering the bar on everything. Every election cycle, the bar gets a little lower. They're like Satan. Oh, speaking of, I got the Satan update. Hank Johnson, the Democrats, and who they want to hang from trees coming up.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. A Montgomery County judge will rule this afternoon on whether Catherine Hoggle is mentally fit to stand trial in the death of her two young children 11 years ago. The judge has heard from two competing psychiatrists who disagree on whether Hoggle has been sufficiently rehabilitated. The father of the children, Troy Turner, is speaking out.
I'm more hopeful today than I have been throughout this process. The former director of Clifton T. Perkins Hospital Center says the woman accused of murdering my babies is competent to stand trial. So we're very hopeful the court will listen to her expert opinion.
The judge will render his decision at 1:30 this afternoon in Circuit Court in Rockville. The Justice Department joining the legal battle against Loudoun County schools over its transgender policy, which allows students to use bath and locker room facilities of their own choice. Two students objected on religious grounds as Christians.
Ultimately, the district's Title IX office found the boys had harassed and discriminated against the male-identifying female classmate. The DOJ believes the boys have been wrongly labeled as sexual harassers.
And that type of a label can follow them and prevent them from getting into college, prevent them from getting recommendations. That is outrageous, and we're going to put a stop to it.
The boys' parents are grateful for the administration's support.
7 News' Nick Minock. Lobbying for a new casino in Tysons is all but certain to come up in Richmond when lawmakers return next month. And Fairfax County officials are trying to get their word in first.
Developers are currently eyeing the site right off the Spring Hill Metro Station in Leesburg Pike. Yesterday, the Board of Supervisors discussed the casino.
It has to have a referendum requirement. It should never be imposed on local government. And that referendum should be controlled by the Board of Supervisors.
Chairman Jeff McKay says they want greater transparency on bills proposed in the State General Assembly.
7 News' Adriana Hopkins. A Germantown family is racking up hundreds of dollars in fines from their neighborhood homeowners association over their outdoor Christmas lights.
Other houses on Middlebrook Manor have decorated their homes for Christmas. Even in the circle, there's a house that has a manger scene and some lights outside.
Homeowner Pahan Salgado telling 7 News the family added 2 angels to the decorations of white lights and nativity and nutcrackers at the front door in honor of his grandmother, who recently passed away.
Our front neighbors also have some lights and decorations outside, but it's just us who are always getting harassed.
The Homeowners Association claims the decorations violate so-called nuisance rules and are fining the Salgado family $50 a day. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
America's first president's giving the country a special present for its 250th birthday.
The ribbon will be cut today on a $40 million revitalization project at George Washington's Mount Vernon. The Mount Vernon Ladies Association says the privately funded, unprecedented historic preservation project included refinishing the mansion's exterior siding and paint, structural stabilization, and restoring interior rooms, including President Washington's bedchamber, which now looks like it did in 1799. And for the first time since January of 2024, you'll be able to visit every room on the mansion's first and second floors. Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The Dow's up 90 points, NASDAQ's down 51, traffic and weather.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT. Yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander? Just $20,999. Or a beautiful Chevy Truck Z71. Yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
Save over $200 when you book weekly stays with Verbo this winter. If you haven't seen your college besties since, well, college, you need a week to catch up in a snowy cabin. Take a week-long vacation and save over $200. Book now at Verbo.com.
Peace to the planet, Charlamagne the God here. Getting real about your mental health journey means connecting with real people. Call, text, or chat 988 if you're having tough thoughts, substance use issues, stress at home or at work. They can even talk to you through worries you're having about somebody you love. 988 counselors are ready to hear from you 24/7. No cost, no judgment, no stigma. It's also private. Asking for help is the strongest thing that you can do. Just connect with 988, a message from the New York State Office of Mental Health.
Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
95 northbound, still under speed from the Prince William Parkway up to 123. You get a break, and you slow again from the Fairfax County Parkway all the way up to Springfield to exit onto the inner loop of the Beltway, where the ongoing cleanup of an earlier vehicle fire on the inner loop of 236, blocking one right lane. On the outer loop of the Beltway, still slow, 95 in College Park off and on to Georgia Avenue. Then you slow from Old Georgetown Road to the construction in the left lane near the Clara Barton Parkway. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Will likely be in the upper 40s this afternoon, and a passing shower or two is possible as well. For tonight, it dries out, temperatures down to 33 degrees. We'll see a blustery wind for your Thursday. The temperature only 40 with wind chills in the low 30s. I'm 7 News Minnold Short Evans at the First Shiller Weather Center.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
The president said that 25,000 Americans' lives are saved every time a boat is knocked out. So is he right? I mean, wouldn't it make these attacks worth it if American lives are truly being saved because of that?
The reality is the second strike was against people who were totally defenseless. They had no arms. They were signaling to surrender.
I guess they were signaling with their legs then, since they had no arms and everything. That's Democrat Congressman Ro Khanna on CNN talking to Manu Raju. The poor innocent drug traffickers are not being treated fairly by the United States. We should bring them here, put them in a shower room with your daughter, and put them on welfare. The Democrat Party program. The poor guys. They had no arms. They were trying to surrender to an airplane flying overhead. That's nobody's ever surrendered that way, but these are not bright people. They're not honest people. They're Democrat members of Congress. An embarrassment to Western civilization. Well, a very happy Wednesday to you. So glad to have you back again. We remain at 888-630-9625. Ah, yes. And it is Wednesday, hump day, in the Clinton household, mailbag day here on the Chris Plant Show. Although I haven't seen any mailbag questions yet. Michael, Kevin, any mailbag questions, anything like that going on? Guys, I don't think we have any mailbag questions. I haven't seen any yet. I'm sure they're around here somewhere. Let's get back to the Democrats standing up for the rights of international drug cartels. They're the same cartels engaged in child sex trafficking, just like the Democrat Jeffrey Epstein on his island in the U.S. Virgin Islands. But never mind that. They're very, very unwell. Now, the drug traffickers, they're bringing lots of bales of cocaine and fentanyl and whatever else, your various other drugs into the United States so that Americans can die from fatal drug overdoses, and there can be drug wars where everybody's shooting everybody and gang warfare in our major cities across the country and all that good stuff. But the Democrats, they want to hang our own troops, our own Navy personnel, Navy SEALs, the the admiral in charge of U.S. Special Operations Command, former commander of
You were
Team
just begging
6,
me to come to
and
your
the Democrats
panel.
want to hang him. They love Nicolas Maduro, who is the head of the international cartel. President Trump is against Nicolas Maduro, and that's enough for the Democrats to be entirely in favor of and supportive of Nicolas Maduro, the commie socialist, drug trafficking, election stealing. See, you can see why the Democrats like everything about him. Right? And is he a cross-dresser too? Because they'd have to make him president of their glee club. Let's go back to Democrat Congressman Hank Johnson. Hank Johnson, always reliable. He wants to imagine a world without balloons. He asked a 4-star admiral about an island in the Pacific, Guam, flipping over because we put too many Marines on one side of it, and the island might flip over because he's not a geologist, and Ketanji Brown Jackson is not a biologist. They're not very scientific people. They're primitive people, the Democrats are. Here's Hank Johnson. He wants Americans talking to a radical extremist, Dean Obadiah, and they want American military people imprisoned and lynched and tried for war crimes and for murder, and then they'll be in favor of the death penalty when it comes to our guys enforcing laws. And here is Hank Johnson.
There's been no declaration of war. If there is no military conflict or legitimate military conflict, then it's really just murder on the high seas.
That's right. It's murder.
However you slice the bread, the killing is unlawful.
And you slice the bread.
And whoever is perpetrating it, Dean, needs to be held accountable in the criminal courts of this country.
There we go.
Whether or not they are military or civilian or both.
That's right. Military, civilian, or both need to be held accountable in court for blowing up drug traffickers' boats, because the Democrats finally have identified some human lives that they care about. And they are Tony Montana and Tren de Aragua gang members in Venezuela, international drug traffickers responsible for literally hundreds of thousands of American fatal drug overdoses just in the United States. And they're okay. They're okay with that. The Democrats are okay with that. And what are the Democrats doing in the meantime? Well, what the Democrats are doing in the meantime is they're coming up in support of what? Of illegal aliens, which they call migrants and immigrants. They're not telling you, but there's no problem with migrants, legal migrants. There's no problem with legal immigrants in the United States of America. They actually do commit crimes at a lower rate than your average Democrat family. But the Democrats, they pretend that all illegal aliens never commit a crime, the opposite of the truth. But never mind that. Here's Democrat Governor Pritzker announcing yesterday, posted a video, that they are passing new laws in Illinois to support illegal aliens, protect and defend illegal aliens, to fight against Immigration Customs Enforcement and other federal law enforcement agencies that they're out there shooting at and attacking, just like the National Guard in Washington, D.C. They're out there shooting at them and killing them. And the Democrats, again, George Floyd, they cared very, very much about. A young woman in the National Guard gunned down on the sidewalks of Washington, D.C. They don't care about her. They don't care about her at all. The young man who was gunned down with her is still in critical condition in the hospital in Washington, D.C. And the Democrats are not rallying. They're not rioting. They're not looting the CVS or clothing stores over normal people being murdered by people that the Democrats created, the jihadis, the illegal alien gang members loose on our streets, giving them truck driving licenses, commercial driver's licenses, so they can run over 11-year-old boys and kill them, so they can crash into families and kill them. And then the Democrats yell at you and call you a racist because they're mentally ill. But Governor Pritzker, he's out there. He's a Democrat. He inherited billions from his grandfather, and his father created the Hyatt hotel chain. And here's Governor Pritzker, multi-billionaire, didn't do a day's work himself. And soundbite number 15, because he wants to protect illegal aliens, which Democrats refer to as immigrants.
I'm here today to sign into law an expansion of legal protections for the people of Illinois.
Yay, the people of Illinois.
Together, we're sending a message to Donald Trump, to Kristi Noem, to Gregory Bavino, and anyone else seeking to terrorize our people.
Terrorize
Your
our people.
divisiveness and your
Your
brutality
divisiveness, Nazi.
are not welcome here.
Yeah, your divisiveness and your brutality are not welcome here. And they're passing, he signed a series of laws yesterday that the Democrats passed in Illinois, enacting protections for what they call immigrants, right? Increasing, here's the headline from Channel 7 in Chicago, Illinois, the ABC station. Pritzker signs bill increasing immigrant protections at Illinois courthouses, hospitals, and more. They're like the Taliban. They're like Hamas. They store their stuff under hospitals and courthouses and schools, of course. And the Democrats say, well, you can't arrest illegal aliens in courtroom buildings because, you know, what kind of an example would that be? Start enforcing the law in courthouses. Following incidents at courthouses, hospitals, and daycare centers, meaning arresting people for violating our laws, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a sweeping bill into law on Tuesday. HB 1312 is aimed at protecting immigrants from what the governor calls unjust enforcement. There's nothing unjust about it. And so Pritzker, he's out there, and the Democrats, they're very proud. Illinois courthouses are now off limits to immigration and customs enforcement agents, hoping to make an immigration arrest. That'd be for illegal aliens, right? And gang membership and pregnant baby mama abuse, like their boy Kilmore Abrego Garcia. They want to have lunch with him, not arrest him. Pritzker signed a bill into law that bars immigration enforcement inside of or within 100 feet of a courthouse building. So they're creating safe haven locations like Hamas does with jihadis. The Democrats, that's what they do. But they're not alone. So they see what's going on, and they say, well, we want to, Democrat member of Congress, Hank Johnson, we want to put in prison Americans, right? Americans who are in the military, who are carrying out orders that they've already incited insurrection and revolution, saying, you don't follow, you have a duty to not follow illegal orders. And then I ask a 20-year-old to decide what's an illegal order because of the mental illness of these people. And they're, boy, are they not on our side. Now, the thing is, while in Illinois that's happening, also just about 150 yards from where I sit right now in Montgomery County, Maryland, Montgomery County officials moved to strengthen immigrant protections. You know, there's no problem with immigrants. But when you have 20 million illegal alien gang members, rapists that the Democrats waved into the country, I'm sure some of them are good people. And just amazing stuff. The Democrats rally in Illinois, in California, in Maryland, in Montgomery County, Maryland. They rally around what is illegal and against the police. Montgomery County, Maryland leaders introduced the Trust Act. That's what it's called, the Trust Act, to protect immigrants. Immigrants don't need protection. That's like saying people with red hair need special legal protections. People with red hair don't need special legal protections. Immigrants don't need special legal protections. To the extent that legal immigrants are having issues, it's 100% on the bloody backs of the criminal Democrat Party, who waved millions and millions, literally millions and millions of illegal aliens into the country under Joseph Robinette Biden. And we've got, the mother of 5 that was murdered on our walking trail not far from this radio station in Maryland. And the Democrats don't care. They riot over George Floyd, a career criminal whose bloodstream was coursing with fentanyl, methamphetamine, and THC, getting stoned, doing meth, doing fentanyl, and robbing a poor little immigrant man with his family trying to run a business in Minneapolis. And he's in there passing bad counterfeit bills. And when he's arrested, he resists arrest. And then because of all the drugs in his system, he died of cardiac failure. And the Democrats burned Seattle and Portland and Los Angeles and Miami and Atlanta and Chicago and Kenosha. They murdered dozens of people across the country, literally at least 2 dozen people killed in their George Floyd riots. And now they're angry and they're rallying in favor of the international drug cartels out of Venezuela because they're the good guys and they want to jail for life or sentence to death for murder and war crimes our own military people for carrying out the orders of the commander-in-chief of the U.S. military and taking on the drug cartels. Again, start adding up, and CNN is not doing this, adding up the numbers of Americans that have died of fatal drug overdoses since the Democrats started protesting on behalf of and in favor of the drug cartels. Aren't they amazing? There's also a Democrat sadly won the mayoral contest in Miami, Florida yesterday. Her name is Eileen Higgins. And Eileen Higgins is allegedly nonpartisan. She's left-wing. She's a Democrat, even though they don't run under a party flag. But she won over the Latino man who's a conservative and endorsed by President Trump. And Eileen Higgins won. And what does she want to do immediately? Start protecting illegal alien gang member drug traffickers like all Democrats.
Tonight, history was made. Our city chose a new direction, right?
Woo! Woo!
You chose competence over chaos. We will confront the affordability crisis with the urgency Miami's families need.
Yeah,
and
families
above
need
all,
communism.
we will lead a city that belongs to everyone.
Belongs to everyone. Everyone that can steal. Listen,
Stay.
they can stay.
Young people can build a future.
That's a good idea.
Immigrants feel welcomed and respected.
Yeah, in Miami, where immigrants never feel welcomed. It's, I think, majority Spanish-speaking city, and Miami is the most culturally diverse, ethnically rich. And it's full of immigrants. But what she's saying is, with a wink and a nod, a rub and a hug. I'll say a rub and a hug for every illegal alien, criminal gang member, drug cartel trafficker. She is going to protect them, just like the governor of Illinois, Pritzker, right? Just like Hank Johnson, Democrat from Georgia in the Congress, just like Montgomery County, Maryland, just like Eileen Higgins. They're all protecting illegal aliens. And the lie that they use is immigrants, right? Again, that's like saying drivers and leaving out the word drunk before the word drivers. I want to take on drunk drivers, not drivers. I want to take on illegal immigrants, not immigrants. The Democrat Party is psychopathic in their lies regarding this and pretty much everything else. From holiday hosting, big parties, to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. And right now, during their Sizzle All the Way sale, see, there's Sizzle All the Way sale. It's great. It's like a Christmas themed sale by the good people at Omaha Steaks. You can get 50% off the entire website at omahasteaks.com. Plus, because you and I hang out together, you get an extra $35 off with the promo code PLANT at checkout. I've told you, my best girl and I, we love the bacon wrapped filet mignons that we get from Omaha Steaks. We sizzle them up in my grandfather's antique iron skillet. It's a thing of beauty. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety. Every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. Every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and then hand cut by master butchers in America's heartland. They also offer beautiful mouth-watering burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, and amazing desserts too. Right now, you save big on gourmet gifts, great gifts for the family, for people at work, and more, from holiday favorites to Omaha Steaks. I got to tell you, visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off the entire website during the Sizzle All the Way Christmas time sale, and get an extra $35 off when you use the promo code PLANT at checkout. That's got an E on the end. Nobody knows why. omahasteaks.com. The code is PLANT. Terms apply. See the website for details. Yes, sir. Yeah. They're doing in Australia with social media and kids. This is almost impossible to believe.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Drinking and driving will change your whole world. The next time you're out with friends, consider what would happen if you...
Now, this is funny. Jacey's had my name on her banned word list for a long time now. But yet she sits there and shows picture. Look at you, Jacey. What's the matter, Jacey? Merry Christmas, Jacey. Why don't you come on up and remember that? Remember when I first opened my chat? You said you were going to support me, or you're proud to be the first one on my panel. I said you would be. Hi, Jacey. Wow. What's the matter, Jacey? Jacey's mad. She's been beaten at her own game, and I don't do the fancy stuff you do, Jacey. I don't throw up a bunch of pictures and all kinds of shit. I don't have fucking 20 moderators, Jacey. The moderators I do have, they don't really even touch anybody in here. I let them have it so they can see what's going on and what I do to rebuttal against you, you fucking bitch. You were just begging me to come. Go live, JC. I'll come up on your panel right now. Go live, JC, and I'll come up on your panel. Be a strong woman for once, JC. I haven't even smoked a joint yet. I just got done eating a little snack. Finished. I just finished eating a little snack. We got.
Tell your doctor right away if you experience any signs of infection or if you are planning to pregnant or breastfeeding, or if you have liver problems. Tell your doctor about all the medicines and supplements you take and about all your medical conditions.
I have a life, bud.
Ask your doctor about your
Say goodbye. You motherfuckers. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. You have absolutely nothing. Come on up, JC. I'll treat you like a human, JC. I won't let Rusty up or anything. Come on up and give me my 10 minutes, JC. Fucking chicken shit. Stray Cat's one band, everybody. You got to talk to him. Yeah, talk to somebody who won't even talk to you. Stray Cat's a fucking moron. Hides underneath your dress. Fuck you, Stray Cat. Is that all you got, bud? Is to tell me to grow up? How about I just ban every account now, bud? You can go brag to Jacey because Jacey has me banned at her chat. I should brag. Jacey bans me, bud. You fucking goofy fucker. Bud, go tell your friend to go live and I'll come to her panel. I was gonna, and then she ended her stream. She can't handle it. You're weak, JC. Very weak.
Means it's time to get on the ladder and clean out the gutters. Again.
Want to stop cleaning your gutters for good? Just call Refilter, America's largest gutter and gutter protection company. Our trusted pros will clean, realign, and seal your
Mike Harrison is not a Marine Corps veteran. He's a lying son of a bitch.
Nothing gets into your gutters except water, season after season after season.
You're a fraud, Mike Harrison, just like your friend Tom Carlisle.
Refilter comes with a lifetime transferable warranty. You will never have to worry about costly damage from clogged gutters.
JC went straight to Vegas for moral support. Come on up, JC. Or go live. I'll come to your panel. Why are you so triggered this morning, JC? Angie said she was on her way to work, but yet there she is in chat. You ain't got no fucking job. You're a fucking loser, Angie. There's a reason you don't have a man in your life. Because you're a lazy fucking bitch.
Service is simple, and our network is unmatched. Period. It all comes down to
You're the reason black people get stereotyped.
and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excellusforbusiness.com.
This afternoon on the Derek Hunter Show, a Democrat member of Congress calls the United States the Great Satan. Which one? All of them, really. We'll talk about it at 3 o'clock on WMAL.
Those rascally Democrats. For how long have I been saying they're not on our side? And they prove it more and more with each rotation of the planet. The Democrat Party, quite amazing. We've got President Trump still coming up. NATO calls him daddy. The news media is very angry about that. And the president talking about the economy in Pennsylvania last night. And in a place called Mount Pocono. Kind of fun. And the people were happy. It was a great rally. And the president making the case. Chuck Schumer, on the other hand, he's not a happy person. These are not happy Democrats. They're not happy at all. In Australia, what are they doing with social media and kids? Would we be able to do that here in the United States of America? And I've got a Luigi Mangione update. The Democrats love murder.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10:30. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. A California man is awaiting extradition to Montgomery County, where he's been charged with raping a woman twice after she crashed her car. The woman had a rape exam performed at the hospital, and the DNA recovered from it led to the man being arrested in California 5 days ago. Philanthropist Mackenzie Scott, the ex-wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, has given $7.1 billion in donations to nonprofits this year, a significant increase in her annual giving. Scott acknowledged donating $2.6 billion last year, $2.1 billion the year before that. The Federal Reserve will almost certainly reduce its key interest rate this afternoon. The bigger question for Wall Street and the economy is what signals Chairman Jerome Powell may send regarding what's next. It would be the third cut in a row and bring the Fed's key rate to its lowest mark in 3 years. Traffic and weather next.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store, where you can find so many holiday essentials, all for under $25. With new arrivals every day, you never know what amazing deals you'll find. Don't wait. Find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com.
Steve Hirschhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
On the inner loop of the Beltway North on 495 in Virginia, the activity involving the earlier vehicle fire at 236 Little River Turnpike cleared up. It's still pretty slow off and on, though, up from the Springfield interchange, even though everything there is open. Outer loop is pretty heavy off and on from New Hampshire Avenue around to Georgia Avenue. Then you slow from after Old Georgetown Road to the construction after Carter Rock before the Clara Barton Parkway, blocking the left lane. Fairfax County Parkway, extremely slow in both directions, approaching Pope's Head Road, where you're down to one lane both ways for road work. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Mostly cloudy, a shower possible this afternoon, high 46. It is 38 at Reagan National. John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk. Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a bosses. Let's talk business in my office. Add new Unstoppable Speeds to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness, so you can smell unstoppable.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Start your morning at McDonald's with one of our tasty bagel sandwiches, like the steak, egg, and cheese bagel or bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, and pair it with $1.39 any size icy cold Dr. Pepper. Save time and order ahead in the app. Price and participation may vary. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Peace to the planet, Charlamagne the God here. Getting real about your mental health journey means connecting with real people. Call, text, or chat 988 if you're having tough thoughts, substance use issues, stress at home or at work. They can even talk to you through worries you're having about somebody you love. 988 counselors are ready to hear from you 24/7. No cost, no judgment, no stigma. It's also private. Asking for help is the strongest thing that you can do. Just connect with 988, a message from the New York State Office of Mental Health.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 Brake Best Select rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10 more. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20 more. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. WMAL, making sense of party politics, because somebody's got to hold their feet to the fire. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
The fuck?
Yeah, we have the police, the court released new body cam video of Democrat Party hero. They'd run him for the Senate, Luigi Mangione. And he had a fake ID and a fake name, and he lied to the police, and the Democrats want to run him for governor somewhere. And they want their daughters to date him. Not marry, just date, you know. All right, before we get back to all the fun of the day, because a lot of crazy, ridiculous people in the Australia and all that. Now, I do love the Pride Month Pride match in Seattle for the World Cup soccer matches, and it's all going to be focused on gay pride, and they've got Iran and Egypt swaying us. I guess the World Cup people, they draw lots, you know, out of a fishbowl or something, like when they're swapping wives, and playing Egypt. Where are they playing? Oh, in Seattle. Hey, it's Pride Month. They're having the Pride match for Iran and for Egypt. That's good. At the end, there are going to be executions in the middle of the field, just for fun. Isn't that great? All right, well, let me go to a telephone call, Michael. Let's go to Pete, calling from beautiful downtown Elgin, Illinois. Pedro, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Well, good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Pete.
I just had a quick comment.
Yes.
Something I read a little earlier this morning. Someone pointed out here, you know, you got the supposed representatives of our population whining and crying, oh, you can't be killing those guys. But what was pointed out is under international law, you have a craft in international waters, no flag, they can be regarded as a pirate ship, and they then are not accorded any protection.
Well, it's been a long time.
Let's just flip that for a second. Now, let's say there were Americans there, and these were cartel people shooting at them. You think they would pull them out of the water?
I think not. Yeah, I think not. They'd gun them down. They'd Tony Montana them. You know, and it's funny because I saw it up on the big board, Pete, and I said, well, you know, that sounds right. And I went and I looked it up real quick and says, yes, under international maritime law, every ship on the high seas must sail under the flag of a single nation, which establishes its nationality, jurisdiction under the law of the country whose flag is being displayed, regulatory oversight requiring registration with a flag state for safety, documentation, legal identity. A ship without a flag is considered stateless, And what you're driving at is piracy. If they're now, and then I went and I looked for what qualifies as a ship, and it can get. And the Democrats will argue this because they're going to suddenly become Harvard lawyers for the drug cartels, so they can kill more of us because that's liberalism today. The mental disease that is called liberalism. But the Venezuelan smuggling boats, maybe typically 60 foot long boats, and I'm not sure what the requirement is, to be honest, Pete. But the fact is that the president has declared the Tren de Aragua and the drug traffickers out of Venezuela to be an international terrorist organization, and so designated as an international terrorist organization responsible for killing more people in fatal drug overdoses than Al-Qaeda ever did, including September 11th. But never mind that. The Democrats want more September 11th. They want more fatal drug overdoses. They want to give drug cartels and jihadis free reign around the United States of America, and on college campuses and in newsrooms. I got to say, Pete, it's almost as if the Democrats are not on Team America.
You think?
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? But I got to say, Pete, we grew up in a country where the Democrat Party was at least on our side.
Yeah, and it was a difference of approach on how to fix whatever needed to fix it.
Yep. Yeah, we agreed that...
Those days are so far behind us.
Yeah, we agreed that 100,000 fatal drug overdoses in 1 year was a very bad thing. And then we'd say, what do we do to stop that? What do we do to drive those numbers down? And President Trump drove the numbers down by more than 20,000 just in his first year here, fatal drug overdoses. Under Joe Biden, more than 100,000 fatal drug overdoses a year. Under President Trump, I think we're going to be below 80,000 this year. That's 80,000 deaths, still much greater than the Vietnam War. And the Democrats shrug and they say, well, we don't care about human life. They don't say that out loud, but that's what's going on in the crooked wheels behind their eyes.
Well, they look at their, the mess they basically created by turning a blind eye. It's too big. It is just too big. Let's legalize it.
Well, I got just legalized. Who did we have yesterday? Oh, the California state senator, who is, I think, Scott Wiener, who is the state senator for San Francisco. He's now running for Nancy Pelosi's seat in the House of Representatives. And he's in favor of legalizing fentanyl and opioids and everything else. And then go across the country to New York, and you've got Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani's in favor of legalizing hardcore drugs. In fact, I had a story that I didn't even get to on all the people that die. What was that? San Francisco's drug centers where you go to get free crack, and the number of people, they don't even track the number of they call their junkies clients. They call them clients. And they show up and they do. Wait, do you have that thing, Michael? Because it had a nice little summary of all the people that have gone to the San Francisco. They call them drug rehab center or drug use centers, and they go there. And if you're addicted to heroin, you go there and you can smoke crack, right? And they give you the crack. If you're a heroin addict, they give you the heroin. If you're a fentanyl addict, they give you the fentanyl. And the number of people that they've just lost track of, the number of people that have just died from these drugs. Pretty amazing stuff. At least 46 people.
They call it a success.
And that's right. They call it a success.
That's because what they're doing, what those people are doing now is no longer criminal. Look at how we made those numbers drop.
What city is that shooting galleries from? Now, in New York, that's right. We've got East Harlem. 2 government-funded overdose prevention centers. That's what they call them. And then everybody goes there to overdose, right? Because Democrats run them, so they produce the opposite of the stated results or intended results. The 2 government-funded overdose prevention centers, one in East Harlem, as the Democrats always kill all the black people first, and Washington Heights are supposed to prevent overdoses. But dozens of clients, they call them clients, had to be rushed by ambulance to hospitals in cardiac arrest or with life-threatening strokes or seizures. And The number of these 2 overdose centers, EMS calls 46, overdoses 1,319. How many addicts have been served at the 2 overdose prevention centers? 5,997. How many addict visits among the nearly 6,000 drug addicts? 109,717. How many people came in and smoked crack? Well, 56,175 times people came to the overdose prevention centers to smoke crack, which the state gives them. They give them the crack to smoke. How about heroin injected? 48,714 times people came there to inject heroin. They brought people in to snort cocaine. How many times? 30,721 times. And speedballs. That's Michael. What do you like your speedballs? Heroin and speed. It's a mix, a fine melding of the two. 19,651 injections of speedballs, and the Democrats say, yeah, this is working. This is going well, Pete. That's what they do. The Democrat Party. And the New York Post had a story on it too. The New York Post with what is this? December 7th, the Pearl Harbor Day. At least 46 people rushed to hospital from New York City's 2 overdose prevention centers.
What the fuck?
Who says it doesn't know what happened to them? You see, the hospitals are like, what? Who came from what overdose centers? So it's New York. They don't know. Here's the drug center where it's not a treatment center. They just give you drugs and let you do the drugs because they want drugs to be legal. They want prostitution to be legal. They are the Corleone family. They're in the same business. And the New York City's 2 government-funded shooting galleries. They got the government version of a shooting gallery. It used to be run by gangs. Purport to prevent fatal overdoses, but at least 46 junkies had to be rushed by ambulance to the nearest hospital in cardiac arrest or with life-threatening strokes or seizures, the records show. On Point, the nonprofit that operates the 2 so-called safe injection sites, they call themselves On Point because they inject you with needles, so it's on point. Get it? So-called safe injection sites in Harlem and Washington Heights. They don't even keep track of what happened to these people or if they died, the New York Post has learned. And oversight critics remain critical. I always think that critics remain critical, are slamming it as negligent. The city's health department, which oversees the 2 safe injection sites, defended the organization On Point, saying that hospitals don't report the outcomes of EMS calls to the private individuals who call 911. Well, they're private, even though they're taxpayer-funded, government-run sites where everybody goes to do their heroin and do the drugs. Isn't that amazing? There was an increase in repeat visitors, 177 clients coming in to do more drugs once they got into the habit, and up 108% compared to 2022. So they're getting more people to do drugs and more people to die from drugs. And they consider this to be a success, just a success, because...
Well, yeah, federal program that actually works. It does what it was planned to do.
To kill people. To help people die of fatal drug overdoses. Isn't that amazing?
You're a burden on society, buddy. We'll help you along.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got to tell you. And in Canada, they've advanced now. Assisted suicide is a big thing, and Democrats are moving for that here. It's like they're anti-life. I got to tell you, Pete. Thank you for the call. Fun call. Yeah, are they pirate ships since they don't have national flags? They don't have flags on their boats, and they're in international waters, going from one country to another country with the drugs destined for the United States to kill as many people as possible. Amazing stuff. Speaking of Pete Buttigieg, thank you, Pete. Good stuff. And like common sense Americans are all over the place. We're a common sense people. We make sense. We're on the side of good. The left is on the side of evil. But this is a fun one from the left wingers at Mediaite. They love Pete Buttigieg. And the headline at Mediaite, left-wing Democrat Party front group. Social media users point out Pete Buttigieg less popular among black people than ex-KKK leader David Duke was in 2016. Don't you have an updated number on the popularity of David Duke? Come on. What's the matter with you guys? What's the matter with you? You got to know respect. But I love this story. So the Democrats are talking about running Pete Buttigieg for president of the United States. And, they can't win if black people don't vote for him because they're the party of the Klan and the Confederate States of America. And they created the Klan and every Jim Crow law. But never mind that. They segregated everything. They're still doing it, as a matter of fact, on college campuses, the military and everything else, the Democrat Party. But social media users point out Pete Buttigieg is less popular among black people, that would mean black voters, than ex-KKK leader David Duke was in 2016. I guess the most recent number they have for him. Former U.S. Secretary of Transportation, trans secretary, Pete Buttigieg is less popular among black voters than is former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke. Wow. And he was in 2016. Isn't that amazing? I don't think that's very good for his prospects inside the Democrat Party. The Confederate States of America, they've got to hang on to their traditions. Just 4%, 1, 2, 3, 4 of black voters said they would support Buttigieg. This is about black homophobia. That is an irrational fear of homo people. And that's how that is. Just amazing. Social media user is quick to point out that former KKK leader David Dukes received more support from black voters after announcing his Louisiana Senate campaign in 2016, with 14% of black voters backing David Duke at the time. And now just 4% back Pete Buttigieg. That's going to hurt him inside the Democrat Party because, they've all got to have sex with each other. That's the thing. Chef IQ Sense. You've heard me talk about Chef IQ Sense. It's the wireless cooking thermometer that takes all of the guesswork out of your holiday meals and out of your meals all year long. Your roast, your turkey, your prime rib comes out perfectly every time, turning I think it's done into I know it's perfect. It even tells you when to flip your food and when to take it off the heat, how long to let it rest on the counter before you start carving. It's like having a personal chef right there in your kitchen with you. With Chef IQ, you can skip your cocoa and sip your cocoa, spend time with your family instead of hovering over the oven and peeking and turning the light on and off over and over again. And here's the best part. It's the gift that everyone will love. Perfect for seasoned chefs, for kitchen rookies, and for everybody in between. This season, give yourself and everybody around you that you love, that loves food, the gift of perfectly cooked meals all year long with Chef IQ. And with my promo code PLANT, you can save 30% off, 30%, and get all your shopping done in one fell swoop. It's a great gift. All you have to do is go to chefiq.com, use the promo code PLANT at chefiq.com. Yes, sir. Hey, Eminence Front. Yeah, I'm now. I wasn't looking forward to the World Cup at all, but now I'm looking forward to Egypt versus Iran and their pride match in Seattle. I'm suddenly looking forward to a soccer game.
Biden and Buttigieg actually did an analysis using
Buttigieg.
I'm sorry. Buttigieg.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
It's truck and SUV at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees. improving care and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excellusforbusiness.com.
The world's best are chasing gold. Get inside the action and support the team. Join Insider, the official U.S. ski and snowboard fan loyalty program for exclusive perks. Visit insider.usskiandsnowboard.org to join today.
It's the gaming event of the year, featuring T-Pain's Nappy Boy Grizzlies versus Neo's Gentleman's Gaming. It's a 4v4 matchup featuring Call of Duty, Tetris, Trackmania, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4, and Tekken 8. Season 0 of the Global Gaming League is live streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Head over to globalgamingleague.com.
Peace to the planet, Charlamagne the God here. Getting real about your mental health journey means connecting with real people. Call, text, or chat 988 if you're having tough thoughts, substance use issues, stress at home or at work. They can even talk to you through worries you're having about somebody you love. 988 counselors are ready to hear from you 24/7. No cost, no judgment, no stigma. It's also private. Asking for help is the strongest thing that you can do. Just connect with 988, a message from the New York State Office of Mental Health.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
At Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excellusforbusiness.com.
Look, our oak tree is already changing colors. Aren't the leaves beautiful?
Yup, which means it's time to get on the ladder and clean out the gutters. Again.
Want to stop cleaning your gutters for good? Just call Leaf Filter, America's largest gutter and gutter protection company. Our trusted pros will clean, realign, and seal your gutters and install Leaf Filter. With Leaf Filter's patented technology, no debris, no shingle grits, nothing gets into your gutters except water, season after season after season.
Ah, the leaves sure are pretty this year.
And thanks to Leaf Filter, they're not even clogging the gutters.
Leaf Filter comes with a lifetime transferable warranty. You will never have to worry about costly damage from clogged gutters again. It's peace of mind and then some. To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/listen for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/listen for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/listen. See representative for warranty details.
With stays under $250 a night, Verbo makes it easy to celebrate sweater weather. You could book a cabin stay with leaf views for days, or a brownstone in a city where festivals are just a walk away, or a lakeside home with a fire pit for cozy nights with friends. Or, if you're not a sweater person, we can call it corduroy weather. We're flexible. And with stays under $250 a night, you can book a home that suits your exact needs. Book now at Verbo.com.
WMAL, making sense of the economy because it's your money and your retirement. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
And it is mailbag day, and I have mailbag questions right here in my hand to share with you after the top of the hour. And Raspberry Democrats. Let's go back to telephones, Michael. Let's go to Scott, calling from Destin, Florida. Scott, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, how are you, buddy?
Very well, very well. What do you know?
Hey, buddy, I was going to tell you something. You were talking about your birthday on the 12th, on Friday, correct?
That is correct, yes.
My son, my youngest son, William, he was born 12-12-12.
Get out.
Yeah, pretty cool. He'll be 13 on Friday, so say a prayer. So, no, I just was going to share that with you. I know you're talking about other people that had that birthday. And, just wanted to say hi and share that with you, man. You're in good company.
That's good stuff. Frank Sinatra's birthday, of course, is the big highlight for December 12th, as a rule.
That's right.
I got to tell you.
I was going to share something. Oh, sorry, perfect.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was going to share something about my son real quick. Since he was about 6, he listens to the radio with me. He listens to, when we drive around or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And since he was 6, whenever he hears Al Gore, like if it's on the news or on the radio, no matter if he's in the car or in the house, if somebody says Al Gore, William will yell from another room, "Peace be upon him."
Is that right? Oh, that is great.
Yes. He's been doing it for years.
That's hilarious. That is brilliant. I love it. 12/12/12. What a great date of birth that is. I had a party on that day. I did, because it's 12/12/12. That's great. Great call, Scott. Thank you.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 11. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. A California man is facing multiple rape charges involving a woman in Gaithersburg around this time last year.
Police say a man met a woman at a Gaithersburg restaurant and insisted on paying for her food and drink. After eating the meal, the woman, not feeling well, drove off and ended up crashing her car. Police later identified Mauricio Martinez Garcia as the man who took her from the crash scene against her will back to his apartment, where he raped her. He then drove her home and raped her again. The victim went to the hospital to have a sexual assault forensic test, where his DNA was preserved. That resulted in a match earlier this month in California. Martinez Garcia is now in custody there, awaiting extradition to Maryland. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The debate over gender ideology is reportedly making it tougher for schools to teach sex ed.
Michigan just recently adopted a recommendation that children be given lessons on gender identity as part of sex ed. Now in Massachusetts, parents in Plymouth, they have been active for months and trying to understand exactly what would be taught in a new sex ed class for 8th graders. Parents there urge other parents elsewhere to get involved. And then on the other end of this, several states have either enacted or are on their way to enacting laws that require teaching the success sequence in schools. That is, 1, graduate from high school, 2, get a full-time job, 3, get married before having children.
Fox News' Alexandria Hoff. Republican lawmakers considering an extension of subsidies for Obamacare, a key demand from Democrats during the government shutdown back in October. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik tells Fox Business she's not a fan.
Obamacare has caused a skyrocketing of prices. I ran for Congress over a decade ago because of the false promises with Obamacare. My family's small business had our health insurance canceled. And what have we seen under Obamacare? A skyrocketing of premiums, a skyrocket of out-of-pocket costs. So this is a broken program.
Senate Democrats want to extend subsidies for Obamacare for 3 years. The GOP has rejected that. But if the subsidies are not renewed, costs will increase for millions of Americans on ACA insurance plans. A new report on the Potomac River Basin finds an increasing risk of water shortages in the future.
By 2030, we will have a possible shortage of water.
Michael Nardalili, Executive Director of the Interstate Commission on the Potomac Basin, noting the areas most at risk.
D.C. and Arlington are 100% dependent on the Potomac River and only have a one-day backup.
The report includes weather change warnings and, for the first time, water usage by data centers, which currently is manageable, he says.
But we project that if that continues to grow, then we'll have another stressor on the system.
Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
A federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to stop deploying California National Guard troops in Los Angeles. The judge granted a preliminary injunction sought by California officials to end the deployment and return the 100 or so remaining troops to the state's command. That decision, though, has been put on hold until Monday. The Dow is up 101 points. The NASDAQ is down 137. Up next, traffic and what?
Kick off the holiday season with the perfect gift for the soccer fan in your life. Head over to store.ussoccer.com and explore a wide range of official U.S. soccer gear and merch. Whether you're decking the halls or hitting the field, we've got you covered. Show your true colors and share the excitement of U.S. soccer this season. Visit store.ussoccer.com today and score big with your holiday shopping.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. More than 1 million people are part of healthcare sharing now because it just makes so much sense right now. And MediShare is the gold standard. Members like it a lot. We know this from member surveys. MediShare has been around for over 30 years. It is a proven thing. And if you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. Again, the deadline's December 15th. Call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. It's 855-BIBLE-11. That's 855-BIBLE-11. 855-BIBLE-11.
Yes. It's me again. We prepped. We'll prep. Oh, wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. It's the time for empowerment. And I've got a message for you. You gotta think about sexual health. No matter what, where, with who. Yeah. To all your lovers out there, ain't no judgment. This is your cue. It's time to talk about pre-exposure prophylaxis, a part of HIV prevention. So talk to a healthcare provider and visit carefortheculture.com to learn more.
WMAL traffic and weather. Here is Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Through the right now on northbound Interstate 295, in delays from the Beltway from the Wilson Bridge up to the work zone near the NRL blocking the right side of the roadway. Interloop Beltway still under speed from the Springfield interchange up to 236 Little River Turnpike, where the earlier vehicle fire was cleared away a while ago. Beltway outer loop in delays from just after the 270 spur to the work zone before the Clara Barton Parkway, blocking one left lane. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Mostly cloudy, a shower possible today and a high of 46. Rain will end this evening. It'll clear overnight. We'll have a low around freezing, a bit colder in the suburbs. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, and cold again with a high of 38. It is 38 now at Reagan National. John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
Well, switching gears, Australia just launched the world's first social media ban for everyone under 16 years old, which includes TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. It's a big deal. I mean, who knew there was someone under 16 using Facebook? You know, it's...
All right, that little joke about the nation of Australia. It's the only country that's also a continent. Did you know that's the only country that's also a continent? Yeah. Antarctica is a continent all by itself, but there's not a country. So that doesn't count. But what have they done in Australia? They might be blazing a trail for the rest of the world to follow. What are they doing? Are they having an Iran-Egypt soccer game during Pride Month? Is that their plan? No, that's not it. It's something else. Something else altogether. What they're doing is they're kicking teens off of social media apps. It's the law. A global policy test begins. Sure. That's the headline at CNBC. CNBC, that's another cable channel that NBC owns. They pay Al Sharpton over there. Does he know anything about that? But this is it's a wild story. It really is. Australia is trying to enforce the first teen social media ban. Governments worldwide are watching. The governments worldwide are watching. Australia became the first country on planet Earth to enforce a nationwide under 16 social media ban as global regulators watch closely. You know, we talk about there are some schools in the United States where they banned phones, the smartphones and stuff at the desk and even at lunch, and from open of school, whatever, 8 a.m. to close of school, 3 p.m. or whatever it is. And there's some schools that have banned phones, and it's led to some positive results. It has led to some positive results. And even the students, after a while, after a month or 2 months, they say, you know what, this has been great. I'm actually talking to my classmates instead of sitting there and ignoring them and texting or, you know, looking at whatever they're looking at. I hesitate to guess, but there it is. In Australia, they're taking it one step further. Platforms, you know, Facebook and X and all that. Platforms face tough age checks amid privacy fears, unreliable tech, and circumvention by teens. They want to circumvent. They want to get around it. Other governments from Europe to Asia are weighing similar moves, positioning Australia as a test case. And I got to say, I'm so happy that I grew up before smartphones were a part of everybody's everyday life, especially for teenagers and so on. I actually talk to people. And look at me now. Now I just talk and talk and talk. What if I grew up with those stupid phones, you know? Smartphones, stupid people. Would I speak the way that I speak today? Would I communicate with people the way that I communicate with people today? Australia on Wednesday, it's Wednesday. They're ahead of Wednesday here, so it was hours ago. Australia on Wednesday became the first country to formally bar users under the age of 16 from accessing major social media platforms. A move expected to be closely monitored by global tech companies and policymakers around the world. Canberra's ban, which came into effect from midnight local time, targets 10 major services, including Alphabet's YouTube, Meta's Instagram, ByteDance's TikTok, Reddit, Snapchat, and Elon Musk's X. You have to call it Elon Musk's X because they have liberals in the media at CNBC. And that's how that goes. You got to demonize, vilify him. The controversial rule requires these platforms to take reasonable steps to prevent underage access using age verification methods such as, what do they have? Inference from online activity, facial estimation via selfies, uploaded IDs, or linked bank details. Yeah, there are privacy issues I can see. I don't think I had a lot of bank details when I was 15, though. And I think the way they're writing it, this sounds like 15 and under. I think it's actually 16 and under. But the way they're writing it at CNBC makes it sound like under 16, which would be 15 and under. And the lack of clarity in the writing is glaring. However, the impact of the policy could be even wider as it will set a benchmark for other governments around the world considering teen social media bans, including Denmark, Norway, France, Spain, Malaysia, and New Zealand. Now, this is pretty interesting stuff. And we've got the Prime Minister of Australia was out there talking about it, of course. And it's, it's part of the British Empire and all that good stuff. But it's kind of a fun thing. And I do think kids be better off without being on social media. They're going to be on the internet 25 hours a day anyway. But the Australian Prime Minister is a man named Anthony Albanese. And he's talking about what they're doing because, they're Australia and they get to do what they want.
This is world leading. This is Australia
world leading.
Showing enough is enough. Make no mistake, this reform will change lives for Australian kids and allowing them to just have their childhood. For Australian parents, enabling them to have greater peace of mind.
I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of banning things, and I think most kids can handle most things. But at the same time, we've raised a generation or two in the United States and doubtless in Australia and beyond of young people that don't communicate well. That's generous understatement. That don't speak well, don't interact with other human beings well. They've lived in their little internet bubbles, their phone bubbles. And I'm not the hugest fan of my phone. I use my iPad a lot. I text a lot, as Michael can tell you, as I text him a lot and other people about news of the day and so on. And I text a lot on my iPad with a keyboard attached, right? But my phone is not my best buddy, not my best friend. I tell you, when I'm sitting at the anchor desk at Newsmax, and we're in commercial breaks and stuff, there are 5 people at the table. As soon as we go to a commercial break, 4 of them are immediately on their cell phones. And I sit there in silence for 4 minutes, waiting to come back, while 4 people around me are on their phones texting. And I just sit there and I don't grab my phone and start texting. I just look around. I feel like dad at the table or something. It's quite remarkable, isn't it? But in the United States, this has been discussed as well as a possible, banning in schools just for the school days. And it's very controversial because of Democrats. Democrat Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, Dickie the Turban, as he's known by international intelligence agencies, Dickie the Turban. And he's like, oh, yeah, he wants 1 million abortions a year, paid for at taxpayer expense. He wants us to provide abortions at, in peephole countries all over the world, third world countries. He's for gangs being ushered into the United States from every beephole country in the world to cause havoc and kill people. He's in favor of Venezuelan drug cartels who kill, the drugs kill tens of thousands of Americans every year. And here's Dick Durbin when being asked about banning social media, banning kids from social media.
I think protecting children is an avenue that should be pursued.
No, you don't.
I won't rule out some sort of limitation in sales or distribution or use of those devices. And I just tell you, parents and grandparents need a helping hand. This is getting out of hand.
This guy is so full of it. And then he's going to come out in favor of Venezuelan drug cartels trafficking drugs into the United States and not blowing them out of the water because Democrats, right? These are the guys that want jihadis to be on college campuses and chant from the river to the sea and they terrorize Jewish students. I shared the story yesterday from the New York Post about the poll. College students, Jewish college students, are terrified to be Jewish on college campuses. Dick Durbin doesn't have anything to say about any of this stuff, honestly. And 1 million abortions in the United States every year. And he applauds that. He calls that choice. And then somebody else pays for his lunch. Isn't he amazing? Senator John Cornyn is a Republican senator from Texas, and he was asked about banning kids under 16 from social media platforms.
I think we ought to look at what Australia is doing, for example, and requiring access to these social media platforms to not be available to anybody under the age of 16. I think that would be a helpful addition, and plus the various laws that we hopefully will pass soon that provide additional tools.
Provide additional tools, isn't that fun? The platforms like X and they have Facebook and TikTok and the Kick, I think that's Outkick, and Twitch and YouTube and Reddit. Listen to this: platforms could face fines of up to $33 million. This is in Australia. Platforms, Twitter, X, and YouTube could be fined $33 million for letting teens or kids on the platforms, right? Got to have age verification and account deactivation and all of these things. It's pretty wild, I've got to say. Whack-a-doodle-doo. And John Cornyn is, but this is a topic that is just starting to be discussed in the United States of America. Let's take a phone call, and then I've got to get to our mailbag questions right here, and not at the bottom of the hour, but at 35 after. I'll get to the mailbag questions. Right now, let's go to the telephones, Michael. Hey, wait a minute. That's another Australian, not the Prime Minister. It's Jason calling from Kensington, Maryland. Jason, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, g'day, Chris. Yeah, I heard someone say something about Australia.
Yeah, true, yeah. Leading the charge.
Yeah, there's a ton of us over here on this side of the coast, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good thing. I'm just not sure how they're going to police it, because I'm sort of getting feedback from over there that I'm not sure how they're going to police it. But I mean, Australia had no problem sort of policing us during COVID. They were pretty well, communist during that. So
yeah.
I'm just not sure how it's going to go with these kids, because they're pretty crafty when it comes to getting around stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
Yeah, I mean, the old days when we communicated, we basically would say, "I'll see you at the local surf break," and that's how we communicated. We just sort of actually talk to each other.
Imagine that. Yeah, wow. Yeah, communicate the old-fashioned way. We'd talk to people. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I just see it in kids around here. You talk to them, it's sort of like you're speaking a foreign language. It's like, unless I'm on the social media or texting them, they don't really want to hear from you. So, but yeah, I'm hoping it works out good, and it's a good thing. But I'm just yet to know how they're going to police it. I'm just not sure. It's kind of up in the air of that.
What's with this guy, Anthony Albanese? Is he a communist? Your prime minister in Australia?
Yes, he is. He's definitely a globalist. He's probably, I would say, probably Joe Biden on steroids. But I mean, he definitely hasn't got the dimension that Joe Biden had, but he definitely has the communist leanings as far as when COVID was on, and also now with all the regulations and all of the different things like windmills and climate change and all that. He's definitely all on board with that. And, definitely not the best one we've had.
Killing whales. He hates whales. That is the windmills. They just kill whales everywhere you go. They're worse than Japan. They kill more whales than Japan.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're basically clearing a lot of land out there, which is basically pristine wildlife land, and killing a lot of the wildlife for these windmills. And it's like, well, there goes, so much for your environmental policies.
Kill the koalas. Kill a koala. Kill a koala for the environment, and killing whales for the environment too. Yeah, for global warming. Yeah, the left, they're really screwy.
Yeah. But anyway, so we'll see what happens. So Australia's the first one. We'll see what happens. But I mean, I hope it does kind of get our kids back into socialising normally again. But we'll see.
That'd be nice. Well, and Jason, thank you very much, buddy. And the great Jason, ladies and gentlemen, and just wonderful. And we'll see what happens. Again, we've seen some results in U.S. schools where they ban phones during the day, not 24 hours a day, as Australia is attempting, but just during school hours. And in the end, a lot of the kids, at least after a couple of months, have said, you know what, this is nicer. This is preferable. It's better. Everybody talks to each other. And I could have predicted that. I think most people could have predicted that. Remarkable. Thanks, Jason. He's great. He's an artist as well. The all-new third-generation Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier is finally here, and it builds on the incredible success of the preceding two generations. And those earned thousands of five-star reviews on Al Gore's amazing internet. Peace be upon him. This new Thunderstorm uses two technologies that studies have shown help to kill up to 99.9% of bacteria and viruses floating in the air that your family breathes. It also removes dust and pet dander and smoke and all kinds of nastiness. You don't want to be breathing that stuff. The Thunderstorm will help get rid of any stinky smell, too. That's guaranteed. Odors from kitty litter boxes and trash cans and cigarette smoke and liberals and musty basements. No match for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. Any smell's going to disappear in a matter of seconds. And right now, you can save $200 American on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection, or you can give one as a gift and a hint. Put one in your basement, your teenager's room, your family room, your kitchen, any place you like to breathe clean, fresh air. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com and use the discount code CHRIS3, CHRIS and the number 3 to save $200 on 3 Thunderstorms. Christmas is just around the corner. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is CHRIS3. Yes, sir. Seen a red door, and I want to paint it black. Isn't that great? We've got mailbag questions coming up, because today is mailbag day here hump day in Bill Clinton's house.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month. Game changer for a lot of people. More than 1 million people are part of healthcare sharing now because it just makes so much sense right now. And MediShare is the gold standard. Members like it a lot. We know this from member surveys. MediShare has been around for over 30 years. It is a proven thing. And if you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline's December 15th. Call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. It's 855-BIBLE-11. That's 855-BIBLE-11. 855-BIBLE-11.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
Yes. It's me again. We It's the time for empowerment, and I've got a message for you. You gotta think about sexual health, no matter what and where with who. Yeah. To all you lovers out there, ain't no judgment. This is you. It's time to talk about pre-special prophylaxis, a part of HIV prevention. So talk to a healthcare provider and visit carefortheculture.com to learn more.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine, ABS, or maintenance light with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASC certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly. Auto parts.
Most people would rather attend a corporate team building workshop than search for auto and home insurance.
Go team, feel that synergy.
That's why the Zebra searches for you, comparing over 100 insurance companies to find savings no one else can. Compare today at thezebra.com.
Who's ready for the truck spot?
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
I have the mailbag day questions in my hand, and we'll get to them after the next commercial break in just a few minutes. In the meantime, let's go to the phones and to Leon, calling from the great state of Illinois. Leon, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, thanks for taking my call. My idea is the Democrats won't get behind this. It'll undercut their idea that children should be able to vote at the age of 16.
Well, that is one of the things they're pushing, isn't it? The Democrats they're busy brainwashing the youth with the constant bombardment of left-wing propaganda and social media, phones and desktops and laptops and stuff. Very, very important to the Democrats' long-term strategy, isn't it, Leon?
Yeah, how would they ever get their message out if they didn't have the kids reading it on Facebook and TikTok?
Yeah, that's right. With no editorial control by any adults, just the left, the Democrat Party bombarding kids, the younger the better, with all of their propaganda. Yeah, you're right. The Democrats will sabotage it here in the United States, America, because they need the... And it reminds me of the movie, what was it, Wild in the Streets, 14 or Fight. They wanted the voting age to be 14, and then they elected a drug-addled rock star and put all the old people on LSD. It's a fun movie.
This is the Chris Plant Show. WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington. Cumulus Media Station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News 11:30. I'm Heather Curtis. New this hour, the Department of Homeland Security will soon be using its own planes to deport illegal immigrants instead of rented ones. The Washington Post says the department signed a $140 million contract to buy 6 Boeing 737s with money from the GOP tax bill. A DHS spokesperson tells the Post the purchases will save money, quote, by allowing ICE to operate more effectively. You will get to see the secret grand jury transcripts from Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 sex trafficking case. A federal judge today became the third to grant the Justice Department's request to unseal material from the investigations into Epstein under the Epstein Files Transparency Act President Trump signed last month. It allows a narrow exception to rules that normally keep grand jury proceedings confidential. This comes after yesterday's ruling by another federal judge ordering the release of records from Epstein's confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell's case.
This report is sponsored by SuperSure. Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, not a little sure, but super sure. The seismic shift is coming. Super sure, coming soon.
Here's Steve Hirshorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
395 northbound at the George Washington Parkway. The right lane is closed for roadwork. It also closes the ramp from northbound 395 to go north on the George Washington Parkway. Fairfax County Parkway, very slow in both directions. The roadwork near Pope's Head Road has only one lane getting by in each direction, causing that backup. Outer loop at the Beltway, delays from just before the 270 spur to the construction near the Clara Barton Parkway along the left. Then another work zone after that is on the outer loop after the GW Parkway along the right. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Today, mostly cloudy, a shower possible, highs mid-40s. Right now in Washington, 38 degrees. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
Verbo helps you swap gift wrap time for quality time. Go to Verbo now and book a last-minute week-long stay and save over $390 this holiday season. Book your next vacation rental home on Verbo. Average savings $396. Select homes only.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy Truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader and out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
Peace to the planet, Charlamagne the God here. Getting real about your mental health journey means connecting with real people. Call, text, or chat 988 if you're having tough thoughts, substance use issues, stress at home or at work. They can even talk to you through worries you're having about somebody you love. 988 counselors are ready to hear from you 24/7. No cost, no judgment, no stigma. It's also private. Asking for help is the strongest thing that you can do. Just connect with 988, a message from the New York State Office of Mental Health.
It's the gaming event of the year, featuring T-Pain's Nappy Boy Grizzlies versus Neo's Gentleman's Gaming. It's a 4v4 matchup featuring Call of Duty, Tetris, Trackmania, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4, and Tekken 8. Season 0 of the Global Gaming League is live streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Head over to globalgamingleague.com.
Carmelo Anthony here for DraftKings Sportsbook. An 82-game season, that's a grind. Trust me, I already know about that. The Emirates NBA Cup turns it up even more, and DraftKings Sportsbook lets you feel that fire every night. New customers, bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code HEART. That's code HEART. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
CNN is very upset today because they're pro-drug cartels. And their headline is, at least 5 people, the drug boats out of Venezuela that the Democrats support because they want more death in America. And they're in favor of the drug cartels and Tren de Aragua and Nicolas Maduro. And they have Trump derangement syndrome. But blowing up the drug boats, and the Democrats are pro-drug boats. That means CNN is pro-drug boats. And the headline there today is, at least 5 people survived initial U.S. strikes on alleged drug boats. They got to put in the alleged news organization. What happened next varied. It varied, you see. And 3 separate U.S. strikes on alleged drug boats have initially left survivors. Each time they've been treated differently. They think there should be a consistency. They should all be killed. Actually, they think they should all run for Congress in California as Democrats. But CNN is all over this story. And they say, as the U.S. military has undertaken a campaign of attacks against alleged drug boats in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean, at least 5 people have survived initial strikes, ending up in the water after explosions killed fellow crew members and disabled their ships. It's supposed to sink their ships. Not supposed to say, hey, we got to go get the ship that's loaded with millions and millions of dollars in drugs, and then we can bring it to California and kill everybody there. But never mind that. But what happened next to the survivors? They like the word survivors like they had breast cancer or something. Varied greatly. 2 were detained by the U.S. Navy only to be returned to their home countries. 1 was left to float in the ocean. I think that's good, and is presumed dead. And 2 more have been at the center of an intense controversy, scrutiny in recent weeks, following reporting that the U.S. military conducted a second strike, killing them as they clung to their flipped and damaged boat on September 2nd. The contrast in treatment has happened while policy on how the military will handle survivors remains steady, according to defense officials. So They're oh no, what do we do? One was left to die. They're international drug cartel gangsters. They are responsible for the deaths of tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of Americans and people from elsewhere too. And people from elsewhere actually matter as well. But at CNN, they're like, oh no, what can we do to stand up for the drug traffickers? It's like Tony Montana program. They love drug traffickers. And because today is Wednesday, it is, of course, what day is it? Mailbag day. It's Mailbag day. And interestingly, one of the mailbag questions, at least, has to do with the poor drug traffickers that found themselves in the crosshairs of the terrible Trump administration, which is anti-international drug cartels. Right? But let me go. So with that, let me go to the mailbag questions, because it's Mailbag Day. And the Democrats, I played Congressman, balloons and island flip over. And he's saying that American military people and civilians at the Department of Defense should be put on trial for war crimes and for murder.
It's really just murder on the high seas.
Hank Johnson, that's Hank Johnson. And we are the great Satan because we're blowing up drug cartel boats loaded with drugs headed for the United States. And Hank Johnson says that makes us the great Satan, just like Iran says we are. Because Hank Johnson and the Democrats might as well be Iran. They might as well be ISIS. They might as well be hanging gay people from cranes and chanting Allahu Akbar.
The great Satan. That's what we have become in this country.
That's right. Hank Johnson's got his figured out. And this is because we're blowing up drug boats. He's joined the Islamic Revolution in Tehran. Not just rhetorically, but spiritually as well. All right, now let me get to that mailbag, because the Democrats are anti-American military, pro-Tren de Aragua, pro-international drug cartels, pro-Tony Montana, pro-Kilmore Abrego Garcia, pro-MS-13. They're pro-murder of mothers of 5 in Maryland on a jogging trail. They're pro-murder of nursing students in Georgia on campuses by illegal aliens. The Democrats advocate, look, their policies created these murders, these crimes, these drug overdoses, and now they're really coming out in favor of everything that's bad. Isn't that amazing? Now let me get to enough of me. Let's get to me. Let's get to the mailbag questions. I want to go to this one first from Ray. The Allies bombed factories, buildings, building aircraft, and factories building bombs in Berlin during 1944. They didn't just drop one bomb. See, he's going to the drug boats in the Gulf of Mexico and the Gulf of America also. They didn't drop just one bomb. They didn't just double tap. They unleashed hell from the skies over and over and over. Should Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, the Democrat leaders in the House and the Senate, investigate your father for war crimes? Well, see, that's a really interesting question, a good fun question. My father was a Navy fighter pilot in World War II, and I played audio here. I might play it once a year of my father being interviewed in the ready room aboard his aircraft carrier, and he's just back from a bombing mission where he dropped bombs, steel bombs filled with explosives on Germans, just because they're Germans. Democrats are okay with that, Ray, because Germans are white. And that makes it okay with the Democrat Party. They'd have to put John F. Kennedy on trial, too. You know, he killed Japanese people just for being Japanese. Now, the Democrats put Japanese Americans and Americans of Japanese descent in concentration camps all over the western United States during World War II just for being Japanese, because nobody's more racist than every single Democrat. So it's like that. But yeah, the question is, Jeffries, Schumer investigate World War II veterans. I was like, oh, you dropped bombs on the bad guys and you killed them. And when the bomb blew up, a couple survived and the ship hadn't been sunk. And it could be a pirate ship if it doesn't fly the flag of a nation. But never mind that. But Ray, yeah, I think that the Democrats should investigate World War II veterans for war crimes. And you know what this reminded me of, Ray, is a guy that I'm aware of, a field marshal, I guess, in World War II, Bomber Harris. They became known as Bomber Harris because he destroyed everything in Germany and just blew up everything and killed everybody. Tens of thousands of refugees in Dresden. And Bomber Harris said, kill them all, and just flattened Dresden, just set it on fire, bombed it with firebombs until there's nothing left. And it's true, today's Democrats are closer to the Socialist Workers' Party of Adolf Hitler than they are to John F. Kennedy even. They're really something. And they would put the British from the UK, Arthur Travers Harris, and called Bomber Harris. And he bombed everybody and everything and just burned cities to the ground in Germany because they had to pay the price at long last. And yeah, Jeffries and Schumer should investigate World War II veterans while they're still here to be investigated. No kidding. Now, next question. Thank you, Ray. Anti-Communist Jack, I like his name, Anti-Communist Jack, says, would you rather be stuck in an elevator? That's the old would you rather be stuck in an elevator with question. With Tim Walz, the R word, that's Tim the retard, that's President Trump called him. With Tim Walz, the Democrat governor of Minnesota, who is not on the side of America, or Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, I got to think about this for a minute. Tim Walz or Jeffrey Dahmer? So you think Jeffrey Dahmer is the cannibal. He was a Democrat, and he kidnapped little boys and tortured them and ate them and cooked them and ate their flesh, right? And fortunately, he was murdered in prison in 1994. Jeffrey Dahmer was. He was convicted of a great many very creepy murders and dismemberments and cannibalism. And he's a Democrat because. So the answer to your question, I think, is since Jeffrey Dahmer is dead, it'd have to be like Jeffrey Dahmer jerky, and it'd have to be his flesh dried and peppered, maybe salted, because his stinking corpse is probably well beyond stinking corpse now. He'd be dead. Tim Walz, I could ride an elevator with Tim Walz. I'd just call him the R word at every floor. R word on 3, R word on 4, R word on, I'd have to use the actual R word, the retard word, And it'd be fun to be on an elevator with Tim Walz. Jeffrey Dahmer, not as much fun, I got to say. But you could call him the R word over and over again. And also, Jeffrey Dahmer reminded me of John Wayne Jacey, who murdered, 33 young boys and raped them and murdered them and left their bodies packed in the crawl space of his house in Chicago. And John Wayne Jacey was a big Democrat Party activist. He was a big Democrat Party fundraiser, organizer, Democrat, and a little boy kidnapping, raping, murdering psychopath, John Wayne Jacey. John Wayne had nothing to do with him, just for the record. The actual John Wayne. Isn't that great? I would probably a tough one on Jeffrey Dahmer, anti-communist Jack. I'll go with Tim Walz, and I just call him a retard all the way up and all the way down. And it'll be fun. I hope his daughter, what's her name? Hope. Her name is Hope. I hope she's on the elevator too. Yes, sir. Fun question, Jack. Now, Rock Chick. That's a cool name. I want to meet Rock Chick. Rock Chick asks, hi, Chris. Have you ever met President Trump? If you could give him one piece of advice, what would it be? Love your show. Rock Chick. Rock Chick, I love your name. I have met President Trump. I interviewed President Trump in his first term in office, his first 4 years. And we went down to the White House. Michael Piercy and I went down there and interviewed President Trump in the old executive office building, now the Eisenhower executive office building. And a really great room, beautiful building, wonderful building. Interviewed President Trump. He was great. I told the story in exquisite detail at the time, how he sized me up, examining everything from my teeth to the stitching in my suit to my tie to my watch. And it was quite amazing. And we had a great conversation. He was wonderful. He was very casual and relaxed, and he was great. And he was with Michael as well. And we had a great time. And we made a bunch of news because I asked him questions, and the questions I asked were well, as always, that, hey, this might make news. What will he say to this? And by the time we left the interview, quotes from our interview were already being posted on other networks and CNN. Michael and I went to the Trump Hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue, and we had beers and we're ching interviewing the president at the White House and stuff and making all kinds of news. And on the TVs up above the bar at the Trump Hotel, there were our quotes of Trump from our interview, from the show and all that. And and that's actually the only time I've ever met him, truth be told. Haven't met him this time around again yet, but we should do something about that. And we haven't even been invited to the Christmas party, not even at the vice president's residence and or much less at the White House. I'm not much of a suck up. I've never been a good suck up, but good stuff. And if you had one piece of advice to give him, what would it be? That's a tough one. I got to say, Rock Chick, because he does everything in his unique Trump-esque way, right? But it always works for him. It pretty much always works for him. And I might think if it were me, I'd probably dial it down a little, here and there. I wouldn't pick every fight, but he picks it. Michael Piercy and I were talking about your question earlier, and he picks every fight, and they're the right fights. He picks the right fights. And sometimes it seems like, why is he picking this fight? And then 2 weeks later, like, oh, look what happened. The Democrats self-immolated again over this. I might just tell him to focus. But when he's up at 3 o'clock in the morning tweeting, he's focused. He's focused on everything. I don't think my advice, I would like to have his ear, truthfully, but it would be on specific things, not in the macro necessarily, except focus. But he succeeds at everything he's ever done. So what can you tell him? And thank you for that. A good question. Now let's go to Kevin. Kevin, this is our last question for the mailbag today, I believe. Kevin asks, does Michael Piercy, or Jasmine, who you talk to when you call in, ever join you for politics and a pint or on one of your sea cruises? You ever, drink with either socially? Whenever you ask either of them questions on the air, you never let them speak. Is there a reason for that? Union card or pay reason? These are great questions. They really are. It's a series of questions from Kevin. But I've got to say, Michael Piercy came along on our sea cruise.
It was the year before last.
The year before.
British Isles.
And we started in Amsterdam, and we did the British Isles and the Isle of Man and Northern Ireland and all kind of. Michael and his bride came along on our sea cruise, and it was the only time that he was able to do that. I don't have total control over that. Jasmine has never come along on our sea cruises, but Jasmine comes to what do we have? The free speech forum.
Yeah, if you've ever been to the free speech forum, Jasmine gets the lines moving at the meet and greets. She takes the pictures.
She's in charge of everything.
It moves when Jasmine's there.
She now, and the truth is, I wish that Jasmine were full-time producer on our show, but she has multiple jobs. So she's here some days on phones, being our producer on phones and all that. And I've taken, Michael goes to all the politics in a pint. And Jasmine have you gone to politics in a pint? Been to two of them maybe, and goes to the free speech forum at the Birchmere and all that. And I love having them along. I'd love to have both of them come on every sea cruise, certainly. But I'm not in charge of that part, so I don't get a big win on that. Do I ever drink with them socially? I've been bringing Piercy out for drinks forever and ever. Usually I lose them to the pot store wherever we go. It's
right next door.
And I just said it's right next door. But I take them up we had a thing for a while where like every Friday we'd go out, and then I started working at Newsmax, and we bring Kevin and Randy, and if Jasmine wants to come along, she's invited to everything. She's usually off at heavy metal things going on. She's out in the world doing fun stuff all the time. We're too boring for her, but she's having a great life. Great family and all that. You ever drink with them socially? And why when Michael used to jump in every now and then on the radio with the microphone. He just did a couple of minutes ago right here. And there was a union issue initially, and apparently I'm union. I'm a SAG-AFTRA person, and I had to be as soon as I started here in the radio, and I still am, and it's great. It's great to organization, but it's not a pay thing. It's not. I don't think there's a union issue, at least anymore. And I'm happy to let the and Jasmine is in a different room. She's under glass. She's like pheasant under glass, and she's doing mime behind the glass right now, trying to push her way through the giant glass window. But she's in a side studio. She can squawk in my ear, and I can squawk to her with a button, but it doesn't go out over the air. I don't think. I'd have to talk to the engineers. I'd be happy to have everybody on the air the whole time. I like everybody. You know, I even talked to Mike the Lid. I don't dislike him. I feel sorry for him. Bless his heart.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Carmelo Anthony here for DraftKings Sportsbook. An 82-game season, that's a grind. Trust me, I already know about that. The Emirates NBA Cup turns it up even more, and DraftKings Sportsbook lets you feel that fire every night. New customers, bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code HEART. That's code HEART. In partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org.
I'll continue, Jacey. I'll give you a chance every day, 3, 4, 5 times a day. You are not a strong woman. You do not dare come up here on my panel and talk to me one-on-one, Jacey. You don't. All you got are your little friends like Lady Venom and doing the shit that they're doing. I just sit back and laugh watching Rusty fucking do her thing. She doesn't even have to like me. Rusty's friends, they don't even have to like me. It doesn't, it's not what the point is, Jacey. You're begging me to come up on your panel. Go live, Jacey. I'll wait. Okay? I'll wait for a couple of minutes. Go live, Jacey. Let me know when you're live, Jacey. I'll come over to your panel right now. Huh? Are you going to hang out in Vegas and just watch what's going on there? Because I have things to do. I'm getting dressed and I'm going somewhere. Wiggin, you're just a fucking loser. You know? At first I thought you were all right. And then, it just, the first time you accused me of something you had no idea I was going to do, I knew right then what you are. You're a stupid drunk. You're a fucking cokehead. There's nothing in your life that's fucking worthwhile, so you got to be out here doing what you're doing. If I were like you and Jacey, I'd be showing pictures. I'd be doing all kinds of shit. Hey, you guys don't think I know how to operate a computer? I just started learning. Chicken shit, motherfucker. How about you, Lady Venom? Are you still live, Lady Venom? Let me check. Oh, she's not live. What happened, Lady Venom? Nobody came up on your panel? I'll come up. Is there a bigger loser out here than fucking Lady Venom? All right, I'll see one person in here. I'll see everybody on the flip side because it says I'm getting viewers. When I go log in or whatever, I see it, right? 100, 200, 300 views. That's just about everybody in here that are doing this.